Greetings and salutations! Welcome to the new and improved conversational podcast. Whether you're joining for the first time or you're a return listener, we're thrilled to have you on board for another exciting adventure because this episode is going to be chaotic. It's going to be fun with honest conversation, debates, and chaotic energy because we're talking about Spider-Man, a brand new day. One of the best Spider-Mans that we could all agree on. Yes, all of us will agree on no matter what because even though you can't see their face, they will say they agree. Because this is for episode 235. Weebs Lounge podcast, where we talk about the best of the best of conversations. So if you're excited to tune in, like the video, subscribe, tune in on your Apple, Spotify, Podbean, wherever you guys are listening to. Support us in any way you guys can. Even patreon.com/AniMa W3 Studio and everything else. We thank you for checking out on the bio. Without further ado, let's have a good time and let's get to it. It's your boy, Legendary Vast, the humanoid typhoon, and this is your Latino Heath. And hey, sometimes you can ask me, are you Miguel Parra or are you Legendary Vast? And you know what I'll tell people? I'm both. But yes, if you guys understand that reference, you would have seen Spider-Man Brand New Day. Yes, this is going to be a spoiler conversation. So if you have not seen the film that has made 934 million worldwide, then you should not be here. You have not made the time.
I thought it already crossed 1 billion.
Well, I'm talking about it probably did by now as of this recording Tuesday. I was talking about like Sunday night. It has made from that Wednesday to
Oh, you're talking about Sunday. Okay.
Yeah, from Sunday night to 100% by now of this recording it has made a 1 billion worldwide.
Yeah, as of this morning.
Okay, so you guys heard it here. It has crossed 1 billion. So if you have not seen it, then you are very busy. If you are a doctor, if you're in the army, in the Marines, if you are busy with life, then I get it. Totally understandable. But if you have watched the film, then hell, enjoy the show. This is gonna be a full Spider-Man review and conversation, full Spider-Man conversation introspective of the movie, spoilers and everything. In a week or two, we'll be talking about how we rank them and best actor as well. So stay tuned for that. But I'm not alone. My world champion is here. So let's pass it on to you. Have you defended your title recently, and have you defeated any wild friends' hot takes?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and ignorant children of the Isles, what is up and what is good? Your reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion of the world is here, being your guide through all the bullshit that is the superhero media that we all consume, because most of us are a bunch of sheep, unless, hey, something actually is good that comes through, and I can't wait to talk about it. Can't wait to focus on it. It's going to be a great, grand old time. Defending my title, I mean, eventually those Elden Ring that video will come out eventually, one of these days. Who knows? Maybe I'll start streaming. I don't know. Whenever I decide or have the thought I want to, Twitch decides, oh yeah, we're gonna do these tests with like taking streams and using them to test AI. That would be great, right, folks? It's like, you know, y'all were this close. Y'all were this close to making me come back. I was about to. We'll see. We'll find out. But hey, as always, there's 3 of us here for once in our lifetimes. It's always lovely when there's 3 of us here for a grand old party. And hey, every party needs a pooper. That's why we have one of you here to rain on our parades up in the skies. There is Cloudy Crescent. Cloudy, how you doing today? Yeah, we're no selling that laugh.
Yeah, fine. I'm all right.
I'm not supporting it.
I told you. I told you before we started this podcast, you're public enemy number 1.
I went full classic as well, chat. I went Spider-Man versus Venom here. We are talking about the classic. We're talking about the betrayal. Betrayal.
We are cloudy.
We're cloudy. Hey, chat. But as you see, some interesting perspective is going to be said. It's maybe a 2 versus 1 right here. We will find out. If you guys also, let us know down in the comments below what you thought about this film as well. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And please tell us your opinions as well. If you disagree with us, if you agree with us, we would love to know and hear your thoughts about it. So please let us know in the comment section. But hey, If you guys are here for the first time, who are we right now? Weebs Lounge. And this is no taco parlor. This is no big news buzz centric because we're not going to be talking about this. We're getting straight into Spider-Man to conversation. And what will we be talking about Spider-Man conversation first? And is what has been going on in the press and media over the past week or two. What have they been talking about? What are the highlights? And one of the things that I want to talk about is that, yes, Chad, be aware, we're going to spoiler conversation. We're not going to just try to sugarcoat it. It has made $1 billion worldwide. So if you're watching this, is that you want to know hear our conversation. So we're going to go straight into it. Jean Grey was in the film.
Oh my God, he didn't even give a
yeah, guys. If you haven't seen the film, I feel like Jean Grey isn't even like a spoiler at this point. But if you haven't seen the film, go ahead, go watch it. And in fact, you can easily find it online. It's in
my iCloud right now.
Yeah, so good luck with that, chat. But like I said, we were talking about some of the things they have said around the interwebs and the interviews and the press junkets and everything. One of them is the grounded Spider-Man. This is one of the biggest talking points from the critics over the past couple of weeks, that this has film steps away from the heavy multiverse storytelling and returns as a more personal, character-driven Spider-Man narrative. Early reviews praise its emotional focus and mature tone. I want to pass it to Trev. Do you agree with this? Having thoughts about this?
Like, just not being a multiverse movie?
Just overall of the critics of audience that have spoken in very high praise that this has felt as a grounded Spider-Man film.
Kind of. They have a point where it's like, hey, there's no multiverse, and the core conflict is between Spider-Man and a character that, you know, they are pretty evil, but they also have a reason behind their actions that can be deemed relatable. The big difference is that the villains in these other movies, they're kind of mostly irredeemable, and in this one is far irredeemable. But I get the comparison where it's like, it's just a 1v1. It's city stakes. It's whatever. We're okay. There's no multiverse to worry about. We're all good.
How about you, Watkins?
I see where people are coming from with it being like a grounded. We're not dealing with like the multiverse thing, which good. I feel like we've been very much hammering that in, and especially with them like kind of getting rid of Kang and the stuff that they're trying to do with Doom. It's like, okay, let's kind of get away from that. Like it's fine to be in the same universe and like build some things up for like Avengers movies and all that stuff, but like, I'm glad for once, at least when it comes to the MCU, and I hope hopefully DC can also take a note from this. I'm glad we just kind of centered and focused on the hero for once, and like Spider-Man kind of has an advantage on this because a lot of these other heroes, I think the most they've gotten, at least for their own standalone movies, have been like 3 of them. At least just off the top of my head, you know, with like, you know, like 3 Captain America movies, 3 Thor movies, like things like that. Like I'm not talking about like Avengers movies or anything.
Yeah. Yes, only 3 Thor movies. Yes, correct.
Yes, only 3.
Only 1 to me.
Yeah, only 3. But you know what I mean? It's just like there's people know Spider-Man enough. Almost like, I mean, if we talk about a big 3 of superheroes, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, I'm sorry, that's not really debatable. That they're kind of the 3 superheroes that people think about. So like having a story like this for Spider-Man is good because like, especially with everything that's happened to Peter in the MCU, we kind of needed this story to just tell what's going to be happening to him after all that, after everything that happened with No Way Home, and like his story and how he's kind of coping with everything, but also like going into like vices that a lot of people face when they have to like kind of move on with their lives. But we'll get into more of that when we like dive into the movie and all that. But I could see why people do appreciate like a more grounded Spider-Man, a more just like character-centered Spider-Man, and that's actually one of the things I liked about it too. It's just like, this is not just. I mean, yeah, there are villains or antagonist, I guess, if we really want to be technical or whatever. But like, it's not really just about punching a villain, and that's a phrase that I've used for like a few other like medias when it's come to like superheroes and all that. Like MHA, one of my favorite arcs in that being the school festival arc, because it proved that hey, you don't need to punch a villain to save somebody, and
punch the air.
Exactly, you got to punch the air with music and
or
sound.
you could break the neck.
Poor Gwen. Oh,
I was talking about Man of Steel.
Say that to Zod snapped neck.
Look, half of Man of Steel was good, but we're not here to talk about Man of Steel. We're here to talk about Spider-Man.
Yes, great.
Okay, but yeah, I see the praise with it. I understand it. So it's just, I'm glad we got this kind of movie for him.
I do agree with everything you guys said. We'll continue this conversation more in a bit as well. The next one I will bring up is Walker's brought up earlier. It made $1 billion within a week. Less before it went full circle. How you guys feel about it? Because I'm not shocked about that. I'm not shocked if this hits $2 billion.
I'm not shocked. Get a nice little golf clap. Everyone's been waiting for this ever since that ended to No Way Home.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, we just wanted that follow up. How does Peter deal with this kind of life and all that? So yeah.
Oh, correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
When we did the top 5 most anticipated movies, did both, like 2 of us or all of us have Spider-Man on there? I feel like
maybe.
We did.
I feel like I had it. Yeah, most likely. If you guys saw talk conversation, I could look for the document.
Like I feel like we definitely had Spider-Man, but I know we didn't have Doomsday on there at all.
Yeah, I knew that one wasn't on there.
Yo,
so it's the same thing with the audience. I feel like I don't feel like many people are looking forward to Doomsday, and Spider-Man's like, well, hey, Spider-Man, we like him, and like that last one. Let's watch that.
Yeah. And I mean, people are still gonna go see Doomsday. It's just like, I mean, I'm sorry, with all the positivity coming out of Spider-Man, I mean, yeah, there's no hope for you, Doomsday, and especially coming out the same weekend as Dune.
You're doomed.
I will say this: when it comes to Spider-Man, not shocked of making $1 billion already worldwide, but my dumbass, forgot that I could reserve tickets because I have A-list, right? So I reserved tickets for the White Dragon of the Power Ranger film later this month. Mm-hmm. Acme versus Coyote, I'm seeing advanced screening because of AMC has an advanced screening. So instead of seeing it on Friday, I get to see it Sunday, the day before we record, guys. So I'll probably give you guys a non-spoiler meter review. And on top of that, I also could just reserve other films. Like I'm about to see Spider-Man Toy Story. But then I'm like, yo, I could reserve Avengers Doomsday, but then I forgot there was advanced early pre-screening a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, shit, I gotta stop being late to this. And then, guys, the Thursday, the 2:30 a.m., the 10:30, the 7:30 sold out. The Thursday, the Friday, the 7:30, 2:30, the 10:30, the AMC, the Dolby, the A-list, the laser AMC, all types of screening types sold out the Thursday, the Friday, the Saturday, the Sunday. The only ones available is front neck in Dolby recliner chairs. Not the worst, chat. It's not the worst, but it's just seeing that shit like still. It's like I gotta turn, and I'm like, I'm not gonna see a big screen of Avengers Doomsday. So like, fuck, I fuck up in my head. If I tell my wife that I fuck up to see Avengers Doomsday as well, like, damn, you fuck up 5-6 months in advance, and I'm like, bro, why do I gotta live in the most popular city in the world just to get movie tickets where I have like 8 theaters near me, and all of them are fucking sold out that Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, chat, man.
That's the only silver lining you get with your chair, that you don't have to break your neck. Your chair can do it for you.
Exactly. But hey, I mean, well, it's funny you brought up theaters, because I did go to like a special theater for mine.
Yeah, talk about it.
Well, I can't really say too much about it because like I couldn't get a seat like up high enough. Like it wasn't like front row or like second or third. It was more like fourth row, but it was like that fourth row, like you know when you walk into a movie theater and there's like that front row that's for like that has like handicap spaces and all that. So like if you're like in a wheelchair, you could just kind of wheel right there or something like that. That was like the backmost seat I could find to be in this theater, and it was like one of those like panoramic theaters where like they had the screens on the side and like your big screen in the front.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So like I could tell it was nice because like especially with like the web sling spots, like they would show like the full city and all that, like, and it was great. Like the sound in there too was really good, but like it just kind of sucked because like I couldn't get the full experience of it because like I only got like the right wall and like the main projector and like maybe a little bit of the left wall, but again I was like on the end, so like I can't really give a full experience rundown of that because I didn't get to, unfortunately. So next movie, I'm gonna try to keep my eyes out for like another movie that's playing in that specific theater because I would like to see how it actually is. Whether that is Doomsday, maybe Regal's fortunate enough to put Coyote versus Acme in there because oh my god, I would love to see that in that kind of theater. That would be amazing. But yeah, so I'll probably have more of a breakdown with it, but like from what I could glean from it, it was a pretty neat experience. Because again, like it was still like a dim light too, but like it was all around you and all that, but I could tell it really did add to experience again, especially with like the web slinging parts. Like those were really good in my theater. Like that experience was great, which we'll dive into how that was later on.
The last thing I will say with this movie, we have great success for a brand new day. However, $1 billion box office is amazing, but then we don't have no more spin-offs of the Kraven the Hunter, Venom 3 Carnage. We don't have no more of these spin-offs. Are you sad to not see Madam Web, the sequel to, of these other ladies in their Spider-Man outfits? Are you guys sad that Sony said it themselves by the CEO saying that not enough people are going out to see these films, even though they said, paraphrasing here, that they believe their movies are success and good wonders?
I am sad at that because those are so classically bad films. They are fun watching. Madam Web. Wait, have either of you seen Madam Web?
Yes,
was trying to. I just never did.
I saw it with some recreational activities in my system, and even then it was bad. It was not good.
The villain is defeated by a Pepsi sign. It's fucking hilarious.
Okay, that part was funny.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, the fact that, you know, they looked at their films and it's like, Kraven, Madam Web, yeah, those were hits. We released Morbius in the theaters a second time. People loved it for that. Right, guys? Right?
They loved it for the meme. You silly little company, you.
I think I heard an interview that Ryan Gosling or some actor was watching Morbius on the airplane, and and the bad guy of Morbius was in some type of
Matt Smith.
Yeah, Matt
Doctor Who.
Smith. Yeah, he was in some type of Renaissance outfit, and he was the person interviewing her that was bringing up the news that hey, Ryan Gosling or some actor was watching Morbius. He said, "Why would you do that? I wouldn't do that." Like he even was questioned.
Dude, his exact words were, "Not fucking Morbius."
Like, why would he do that? Why would he watch Morbius?
Yeah, who hurt you in your life for you to willingly do that?
So I was just having a good laugh from that because the actor was a bad guy and he was like literally 45-50% in the film. So for him to say that in the most nonchalant way of just saying like, why would you do that to yourself?
That's why I love Matt Smith. He does not have a filter for these kinds of things.
Oh, he's great.
As he shouldn't.
I've not seen his role in Doctor Who, but I know how great he is in other roles that I've seen him very few. But it's just fantastic. But So at the end of the day, it seems like you guys are about the Sony spin-offs movies. Be like, hey, if it happens, it happens. Sure, but at the end of the day, we are happy about Brand New Day. We can't wait for Spider-Man 5. Hopefully the same director or a similar person in that type of caliber could continue. And at the end of the day, it seems like one last thing to add is that Tom Holland believes he already has in plan, in direction, to introduce Miles Morales and pass the mantle. You guys have any thoughts about this? What he has already spoken about this?
What's funny is that Miles Morales was in the movie already.
Who do you think was Miles Morales?
Well, wasn't it the voice actor for Miles Morales? Wasn't he the one that talked to Spider-Man outside of his apartment before the race for Mary Jane? Wasn't that him?
No, that wasn't him. That was just a random actor.
Oh shit! Never mind.
A lot of people in my town has actually been praising the actor. I was gonna break down, but since we're here, a lot of people has been praising the actor for his great introduction of him, like just performing out of his ass and everything. And many fans has been praising him, saying that we hope to see him more in the future because he did such a fantastic job. And he has a picture of a Spider-Man toy and everything, saying that like, I appreciate for everyone you're gonna give me this opportunity. I told myself I was gonna act in one of the Spider-Man films, and he did. So congrats to him in his opportunity. But Wonkas, you have something to say about that?
I was just gonna say he took his 5 minutes of screen time and made it his own. Like he maximized those minutes. And yeah, more power to him. Like he was like, yeah, I'm gonna act my ass off so that way I can get hired again. Like, all right, you do you, dude, because that was a really good moment there.
You acted good, Waksha. You did well.
I do agree about that. But not that we did all the news and conversation, we can move on about that with all that bullshit on the way. And let's get into some conversation of timeline. Just, it's been a couple of years for us that have seen No Way Home. For anybody that loves that film or enjoyed that film, with not just Tom Holland as Spider-Man, we had Andrew Garfield. We also had Tobey Maguire for the nostalgic. We had all three Spider-Man Spider-Man actors, because now there's 4. For anybody that don't know, there's 4 Spider-Man actors nowadays. But we have all 3 of them in Brand New Day. I mean, oh my God. We have all 3 of them in No Way Home. We have all 3 of them in No Way Home. And now we transition into this film 4 years later when it comes to us timeline. But the movie timeline 2 years later. How do you guys feel this film just meeting overall expectation? Just your overall first impression. How did you feel coming out of the film? Like, hey, you were excited. 4 years from 2022 to now. 2 years from 2024 to 2026 film-wise. How do you feel coming in and then coming out? First impression. Trevor, again, you first.
I'm starting this off by saying I am a fierce defender of the Home trilogy. A lot of people hate Homecoming. Infinitely more people despise Far From Home. I don't get it. I don't really get the hate. And No Way Home, I love. I adore that film. It's got some problems, but Jesus Christ, the character work in that movie is fucking phenomenal. So going into this film, I was like, yeah, I was just like all of you. Yeah, I'm ready. Hit me, baby, one more time. Let's go. Brand New Day. What do we got? Watched the movie, walked out. I was like, what are the things I like? I mean, there had to have been things. Then time passed, thought about it more. Then I watched it again through memes. And I was like, yeah, so this doesn't work and that doesn't. Fuck. Yeah, no, I don't like this movie. Fuck. Oh, shit. And then the more I thought about it, I was like, oh, it just gets worse. The more I think about it, the more you think about the other MCU projects. It's like, oh shit, yeah, take that. Oh shit, the timeline doesn't even make sense. Fuck. And then you think about the characters, like, fuck. And so it was just a maddening experience when I got out of the film. I was like, yeah, this is pretty bad. I don't like this movie. If you guys, I know we had this talk walk-ins. Like, if you guys like it, awesome, fucking radical. I did not. I did not walk out of this like,
Overall, that does suck as a fan also, because you're just coming in wanting to enjoy the film, enjoy the product, and then you're coming out feeling the opposite overall. That just has a sucky feeling. But Watkins, any overall first impression thoughts of how you feel of coming into the film? Like, where you feel like this was a true follow up of No Way Home? Like, do you feel like Peter finally felt like an adult going from the Home trilogy, like Trev mentioned, having having the trilogy of him in high school? We actually see him, develop as becoming to the actual Spider-Man from start from Far From Home to No Way Home, to see how the action choreography is like the Spider-Man game, the cinematography, all these emotions. Like, how do you feel all this coming full circle?
So much like Trevor, I really like the Home series. Like, yeah, a lot like him. I'm like, wait, y'all hate these? Like, y'all hate some of these? Like, okay, sure, some of them might have some problems, but really, y'all hate things? What? Okay, fine, whatever, cool, neat, whatever. So this one, I'm going in being a Spider-Man fan, and I mean, I have been harsh on the MCU at times. I will give a pass here and there, but most of the time it's just like, this just didn't hit. This didn't hit. This didn't really hit, because I'm more of like whenever I go into media and all that, I I try to resonate with the movie. I try to like feel like I try to get like what is the movie trying to talk about, what is it trying to say, what is it like, how is it trying to incorporate itself in a lot of different ways. And I walked away with this one very much in the feeling, because like I'm also a firm believer that sometimes when you experience something like, how do I explain this? It's like whenever you watch something or like play something at a certain point of your life, it kind of feels like you're playing it or watching it or experiencing it at just the right time of your life. I've had those moments for like the past like few years lately, where it's like I'll go through Amphibia. Wow, I really needed to watch something like Amphibia. Or, I'll play through Wukong, and it's just like, wow, I really needed to play through a game like Wukong to really like immerse myself like that. Just this year, I read through and caught up to Iruma. And I'm just like, man, I really needed a manga like that. I caught up to fucking Dungeon Crawler Carl, which I have all 6 books now, by the way. I'll talk about the other 2 books I got next week during Otaku Parlor. But it's like, all this media just kind of like comes into your life and like either teaches you a lesson or like reinforces things that you've already kind of thought about. And one thing I walked away from this movie from, and I'm glad Tom Holland said it too. I think he said it in an interview. I don't know. It was a tweet that was like, it was like just like one of those tweets that was like taking a quote of his, but he had said, I hope people like when they walk out of this movie take away that a lesson of like, we're not, what was it again? It was something along the lines of like, we are not alone in all this. We're in all of this together. And it's something that like I've always kind of thought of as just like, if we were truly meant to be alone, there would only be one human in existence. And I feel like, with him saying that and then reflecting on the movie, yeah, this was a movie where like Spider-Man, because like that's one thing people always like to talk about, like how Spider-Man bounces off different characters and all that. And I think this movie, again, not doing spoilers right now or anything, but like I felt like how he bounced off a lot of characters, not only, worked in the way of like what Spider-Man or people are used to with Spider-Man, but each of them kind of like showed him a different avenue of what he's going through, like something that like can help him either guide him towards the right direction or the wrong direction, or maybe open his eyes to maybe like look a little deeper into some things. Because yeah, there's maybe a couple things like, the actual villain of this movie, maybe he should have caught a few things here and there beforehand, but like maybe life is more of a gray area instead of all white and black. And like there's that aspect to it. There's also just the aspect of like I mean, when we get into like talking about MJ and Ned, like there's the whole aspect of like, there's parts of them that don't remember him as Peter or don't remember like Spider-Man as Peter, like that whole thing. But it's like you can tie that into like own personal experiences where it's like when you go away from like, I'll use college as the example. It's just like, when you go away from an environment like that, and it's like everyone goes their separate ways. They kind of go into their own worlds and all that. And there are moments in the movie where it's just like, yeah, they've lived a whole different life without you in it. And like, these are basically new people that there is a connection. Like there's almost an immediate connection to them. It's almost like, you know, me and Vash, when you and I first met, it's almost like there was like an immediate connection, or like you and me, Trevor, when we like reconnected after like the college years and all that, like it's almost like nothing really changed or anything. You know, there was like, there's a few things like that, but you know, I don't want to get on the soapbox with all that. I walked away from it feeling really good, like not only just from the movie itself, because I thought a lot of stuff was done really well in the movie, but also just walking away being like, you know what, yeah, everything's good, everything's feeling good right now. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that, because we'll get into other things here in a minute.
We will go more deep that when it comes to the Peter Parker New Beginnings, what happened at throughout the 2 years, him as Spider-Man, the character, the cast, the supporting cast, and then where the villains in store. So don't worry, we'll break that down in the second show. But let me just also give my own input. This is a Spider-Man film that I also tear at the end, because I'm a comic book lover when it comes to Spider-Man. I love Stan Lee, and for anybody that
Mm-hmm.
saw the movie clip or seen that he was a cameo in, that explains the character of Hulk, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and a few others, that Stan Lee wrote a bit about himself in each of these characters, where you could have the humanized version of people can relate to. Yes, you can relate to Peter having spider powers, able to lift 1.5 ton of weight in Earth, but you're able to see his struggle of trying to balance stuff, trying to see how to be a hero, but also how to be a human teenager, young adult transition in life, and what's the right choice. You can't approach anybody because nobody knows. You can't approach what anybody could count on. You could reach out to people, and it felt so natural. As somebody who's a comic book lover that grew up knowing that you're in a comic book issue you're reading, but then it tells you a cameo of said character, Punisher, Daredevil, Iron Man, the X-Men, Wolverine. They appear in issue number 17, and then they leave in issue 22 because it was a 5-issue run. And then they say, if you want to read more of this character, go check out issue number 32, because this is where it continues their story. Those things I love. I've seen it animated where they do cameos of Black Panther and other characters in their Avengers, Earth Mightiest Heroes. A lot of those things I love and grew up with. So seeing this movie, seeing cameos of said characters appear on screen, and how it makes sense because we're in fucking New York, where there's literally districts of Hell's Kitchen, Lower Manhattan, Harlem. I would not be shocked if fucking Luke Cage or other characters show up, because it makes sense. They're listed in the city, so it fucking works logically. So
Yelena's office, you know?
I need Yelena's office. I want to be there. As long as we can find
secretary.
how we can have cables in a safely section with water, then yeah, I'm there. We can have the setup there, and my feet will up be in the air like floating. I get you, Spider. I get you. You got too calm. I get you. But this was such a fun film to watch as a kid in heart, a Spider-Man fan or everything. At first, a few times, the kid in me said, "Fuck them kids." You know why? Because it said, "Hey, Spider-Man, you have kids here in my theater," and they were a bit cranky and crying. Was I a bit annoyed? Yes.
Oh, like you had like legit like little tiny kids.
Not like tiny kids, but there were some kids that were like maybe 7 years old, but they were there already in the film for 2 hours and 45 minutes, 35 minutes. So I get it.
It's funny you had kids in yours that were kind of annoying as well. There was like two groups. There was like this one group of like these two little girls that like every like 10 minutes they like got up and went out. They came back in, and then like 15 minutes later they ran out, came back in, like they were grabbing like snacks and all that shit. And I'm just like, couldn't y'all have gotten all this like before the movie? Okay, cool, neat. And then there's like this other guy. I guess he couldn't sit like with the people he went with because they were like sitting like a couple seats away from me. But he was sitting like up, like above, and he came down like a couple times, and he had like these jangly keys on him, like on his belt. And I'm just like, dude, Can you at least take those off, please?
Hell yeah, I would have gotten annoyed, so I get it. I had it like the kid.
I enjoy the Alamo more.
And plus, also my wife.
Order card.
Also, my wife had to leave the movie theater like 10 minutes before the movie ended because wife had to go to work. So I totally understand. But like the partner, like kidding me, like, no, don't go. Wait, we gotta finish the movie together so we can talk about it. Walk out, talk about it. But no, she had to go to work. But we're gonna watch it a good like by the time we talk about in the next 2 weeks, chat. I'm gonna see the movie by second, third time, so I'm gonna have a better see all the cameras, see all the things I'm missing, and everything. But nonetheless, it's pretty exciting from what I saw. Can't wait to see a second time within tomorrow. The next 24 hours, I'll be watching it. By the time you guys are watching the podcast of this episode review, I'll be at the theater going in because my showing I think is 12:30, so I'll be literally be going.
Oh,
in.
Nice.
But that's my overall thoughts. It was a great film, great to watch, see everything come full circle all together. But now let's get into the spoiler section because I know we're gonna give us rating our score at the end. I want to have everyone. Maybe we could change people's thoughts. You never know. Not pointing any fingers. You never know. However, let's talk about, are we entering a full Spider-Man adult? Meaning that we have entered the new beginning of Peter Parker, where his life after No Way Home, his life has completely, like literally completely alone. He might have just some friends that are pigeons and a captain of a cop division, maybe the cop overall Manhattan and everything. We never got that detail that I can recall. I don't want to give incorrect ranking, so I'll just throw in there his adult responsibilities, aka paying bills, or also never going to school, but he don't really need it, but he did lie to Bruce Banner. So my question is, you know what, Trev, I'm gonna give you a break. I'm gonna go to Watkins.
What?
Trev, I'm gonna give you a break on this one. I'm gonna go to Watkins. I want to ask you, Watkins, how do you feel about Peter Parker's new beginnings entering this film? Because we get a little bit of montage, him fighting the hand got taken down. Somehow they're just kids that need just good leadership and gonna go work for damage control. We got a cameo of Tombstone as well, so that's amazing. For anybody that don't know, that was the same Tombstone actor that played for Black Lightning, a DC property that's also named Tombstone as a bad guy. So that's very funny, very humorous for anybody that saw the reference and knows. But how did you feel about Peter Parker New Beginnings in this film? Because I love it, but I want to hear you.
Yeah, like I like the fact that like we're pushing this story right now where he's focusing a lot on the crime and just like a lot on his, you know, quote unquote job. I mean, I don't think he gets paid for this in this universe, so that's like, okay, you know, calling it a job, you know, it's just his way of living, really. But whatever, that's besides the point. So yeah, he's very much like putting himself just into the crime fighting, just like trying to just focus up on like trying to forget the past, but also like there are moments where like, you know, he's doom scrolling like right there on Instagram, watching freaking Ned like give life updates to all 200 of his subscribers or whatever. Like there was a point where he was like looking at the phone, and I actually did like kind of clock a little bit of the likes. I thought I saw like 105 likes on his like reel or something that Peter was watching. I'm just like, oh, he's getting more likes than my reels. Oh,
the one I was laughing about
at MIT, that's pretty good.
I'm just like, yeah, exactly.
But the one I was laughing about is when MJ told Ned, who's anybody watching this? And they're like, I don't know. It's just feel like somebody is. It's like, well, how to that somebody, one person? I'm like, damn. I know how that feels.
Right. But yeah, so like, and that's kind of one thing I kind of do like about this movie, because like they could have gone the route of like fully diving into Peter, like being so focused with work, which, you know, we do touch on that. You know, we do touch on the fact that like he's so focused on like fighting crime and like being Spider-Man, forgetting about being Peter Parker, to the point where like I love how the internet's kind of like running with this too. That girl like stops him in the hallway. She's just like, oh yeah, we live on the same floor, and he immediately moves out. He's just like, but I love how the internet's kind of running with it. He's just like, they're just like, oh, the moment a white woman talks to Peter, he moves out.
Wow.
I'm just like, oh my God.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so like we're kind of diving a little bit into, you know, him just being more Spider-Man than Peter Parker. And we'll explore a lot of like trying to find that work-life balance in the movie and like what that can really do to you. And I mean, it's only enhanced because, you know, his genes start skyrocketing because again, the stress can make you skyrocket. It can make you like lash out and do other things. But that's later on down the road. But like when it comes to like just like his own new beginnings, I mean, he's got his own little bat cave with his like computers, his like 3D printer and all that, his treadmill and all that. That you know, that's fine. It's whatever. I like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, this needs to be like more grounded than it should be. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, it's a fucking comic book movie. I really don't care about that aspect of it. I'm just like, all right, cool. He's got his like, he's basically got his Vash set up, except he's got an AI.
His shit's high tech. Like, bro was literally just telling the AI, like, yeah, can you run the diagnostic for that shit to me? And then when I heard like trial number 7, I'm like, I wish I could just be here, tell my computer, yeah, can you run my OBS system, see if you can fix what's going on, do it for me. I'm like, bro, I wish, man. But then I saw the complaint, like, just to add a bit what the online people said, like, what does Peter need? I'm like, bro, if you have read the comics, Peter does develop his own AI version that talks to him as well. Because he's a smart dude. He just can't do 20 things at once. He's going to have his AI, like, while he's working on the next project, his AI is trying to, you know, run tests, run diagnostic and everything. Like, instead of him doing it, he could have his system doing it. I feel like that's normal. Like, people getting upset just because, like, Peter's still smart as hell. If anybody don't know the comics, he's literally in the top 10. He ain't top 5, but he's in the top 10 smartest in the Marvel universe. I don't know about MCU and everything, but Marvel universe, Peter's like number 8 through 10. He's a smart ass dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, a quick little montage to see how the past, what was it, like 4 years went for him and all that. So I was fine with it. I was cool with it.
For my question is to Trev. Did you enjoy the montage of him beating up the hands? How everyone thought in the trailer was a lot more until we saw the ending. But then overall, we thought the hands was the big bad or trying to be something more. But then it was just a montage with Tombstone and all these other little montage of his past couple of years of being Spider-Man on his own. How you feel about this, Trev?
Oh, Daredevil's in that scene. It's like, oh.
And it's cut out, just like Andrew Garfield and others.
Yeah.
But then we find out it was just a montage.
Don't worry, the hand will come back. They always come back somehow. Yeah. No, I wasn't a fan. This is where that contradictory thing comes into play. So,
talk to me.
One of the main issues of this 5-year montage is it's hard to explain because it's somehow not this movie's fault. It's also Daredevil's fault. But at the same time, they were also made during the same time, possibly.
Are you talking about Daredevil Born Again, like season 1 and 2?
Yeah, Daredevil Shat Again, season 2. With Kingpin specifically, because you have this movie where it's like for 5 years he's fighting crime. It's like, all right. Although they also said in 6 months he pretty much wipes out crimes. Like, oh, okay, all right, interesting.
Yeah, the 6 months crime has been the lowest that has been in the past years. He said.
Yeah. And then you have like, because it doesn't really make it clear when the events of Daredevil season 2 came into play, because Wilson Fisk, Kingpin, became the mayor, and that wasn't a small time gig or role. He turned New York into like a fascist dictatorship. Punisher is in that show. Punisher is in Spider-Man. It's like they never addressed Kingpin at all. That was just weird. It's like you needed a little more strings. You were missing some stuff.
So right from what I heard, this is my quick nip. Not headcanon, but from what I heard, is that season 2 happens right after Brand New Day of the Kingpin stuff. So we don't know if Spider-Man affects it right after. but from what I heard is that Kingpin Daredevil season 2 happens after Brand New Day. Is what the fandom is trying to, put the puzzles together of where the timeline stuff works. But that's why I saw.
If it is after, that helps a lot.
I hope it is. I haven't seen the show or seen the season, by the way, as well. But I hope it
I would assume, since they didn't mention him, that it is taking place after it. But
I can only hope.
That's coming from somebody that hasn't watched Daredevil. So.
Yeah, like that's my hope, because with Kingpin stuff, for anybody that don't know, Kingpin is one of the top 5 big bads of Spider-Man. That's like a nemesis. Like, for anybody that don't know, literally has been in Into the Spider-Verse, has literally been in the Insomniac games.
Yeah,
Kingpin is a big
bad. Beat him
bad.
up in 2018.
So Kingpin is a big bad motherfucker. So I wouldn't be shocked that Spider-Man should be involved. Maybe set up with Spider-Man 5, but right now it's like we will talk about the end credit scene, so don't worry. But you do bring a good point in that continuity. We will talk more about other characters, Punisher and the Hulk and everything. But go ahead, continue.
That's the least of my concerns as of right now.
Right.
So don't worry. By the way, the hand is back. Oh, everyone cheer! Everyone cheer!
Yeah.
The hand came back. Do y'all remember the last time? Do y'all remember the last time they showed up?
Yeah, I love the hand in Daredevil season 1, 2, and 3, and also in Defenders. That was also a big rest in peace for the actress that was in charge of the hand in the show. I forgot her name.
Madame Gao.
Madame Gao.
Awesome.
Yes, for the actress, Madame Gao that played the role, but for the actress, my apologies. But she did pass away over the past couple weeks. But this is relevant towards this. So she did a great role in her handling the business with the hand, handling the business with Kingpin and the other benefactors, because that's what they were called. Vanessa.
Good job on the Kingpin.
Thank you.
But yeah, so the hand came back, but unfortunately, it's like, oh, you guys you're like Palpatine. You all blew up, and you were never. You all died in Defenders, and then somehow they returned. It's like, oh,
Trevor, haven't we learned anything from Order 66?
It's an inside job.
Also,
it's an inside job. There's plenty of survivors. It didn't matter. Didn't mean a thing.
We're gonna get to the hand, because I do have things to say. It's like this ancient order, it's like, oh, not only did you somehow return, then you all lost, and then the Department of Damage Control, the people that confiscate they confiscate Avengers level technology. And it's like, all right, we also made the hand a 9-to-5 job. I'm like, I was half expecting that they were going to be evil. I think Watkins, it was your Vash that just said it. Was like, we were expecting the hand to be villains, but they're just jobbers, literal jobbers. Yeah. Interesting.
Well, yeah, because that was my thing. Is it's like, once they showed up with the with damage control, which can you all please can they get a different name for that? Because anytime I say that, I think of a stable in wrestling, and I'm just like, I miss those ladies. But anyways,
you have PTSD from that. Understood.
Yeah. They kept saying damage control. I'm just like, but that's not Bailey. No. 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 As soon as what's his face brought out the hand, if I was Spider-Man, I'd have been a little bit more suspicious. Been like, huh?
They're
like
evil. They tried to blow up New York.
Yeah. Like I'm all for. Yeah, like I'm all for redemption, but I'm gonna keep my eye on y'all. I'm gonna keep my eye on y'all.
So that's just on the villain side of things. It's like, oh, the hand. Well, okay, the hand is weird. Kingpin, that's a little weird, unless the timeline is magically fixed. Then now to talk about good old Pete. Peter Pettigrew. So at the end of No Way Home, the whole thing was that he prepared a note. He made a promise to MJ saying, I will find you. I will explain everything. Then he sees her again, no, it wasn't bodegas. It was just a little coffee shop. He looks at her. He sees her injury, and he makes the Spider-Man choice. And it's like, I want you back in my life. I would love for that, but I have to respect the consequences of my actions and the spell. I am not going to get you hurt. I'm letting you have your own life. Besides, there is always the moral question of, if you were to tell someone that's like, hey, so you're not real, your past self is a lie, then I'm actually your true love, and thanks to a magic spell, it's like, oh, no, stop, you're not going to win this, you're not going to win anyone like that.
So if I could inject
get
here.
into.
If I could inject here, because this is a good transition to talk about the character about this moment, because about the topic, about the letter narrative, because was that the only one once Peter was in the submarine or that ship inside into the bunker area, and they were chatting with Punisher and everything. He said, "Hey, I'm gonna go meet Jean Grey. I see where I fuck up. I gotta go," and he leaves the note literally in between, just folded up on a desk. And I'm like, babe, I literally point at my wife. I'm like, babe, Zendaya character MJ is gonna find that shit. I bet you 100%, because that's so easy. Like, any curious person in the ship is gonna be like, oh, folded paper. Let me see what it is. I'm curious. And guess what? He came back from the fight, sees her literally in emotional distraught, and just reads it. I'm like, bro, what you expect? She's outside at that door and reading that. I'm like, that's the most obvious plot line that was going to be seen in a 1-2 second read.
Yeah. And we're going to get into the other ethics, but I do want to harp on the beginning, because, man, I will say it's always odd to see the home trilogy haters be like, finally, he's fucking miserable now. Yeah, that piece of shit. He's a broke bitch. Finally, this is what I wanted. And meanwhile, Watkins, you and I are just sitting there. It's like, we're just happy he lived. He's alive. Yeah.
And I mean, if anything, he's not really too miserable. I mean, he's more stressed than anything, and the isolation does start to get to him, and that is kind of a big point with everything else that he ends up doing in this movie, because trust me from experience, isolation can make you go crazy.
I'm glad
that kind of shit can really, like, it can make you do either dumb shit or just blank out on a bunch of shit like that. It's not a fun time. So it's just like, Peter going through some of that throughout the movie. I'm just like, yep. I also
like how you brought up the Batcave, because this leads to like the final criticism I have for now, just in this general sense, where it's like, he did reset. He literally has nothing to his name at all. That's how the spell worked. He has no money, no bitches, no third funny joke here. He has nothing. But somehow, through the grace of God, he has all this amazing technology, and we're talking like, I don't even know if that was the same magic printer shit from No Way Home that can make anything, or if he just made another one. But he also has an advanced AI that I do have issues with, because it's like he over relies on the AI, and that AI does some ridiculous shit, which we will get into soon enough. But it's just the fact, like, you have all this technology, you have an AI, you're able to have a bat cave as your home, get a treadmill. How are you paying and maintaining for all this? Because part of my theme was like, oh, well, actually, this is easy to solve. You just have a job. Like, you have a new career. You fake a name. It was like Maynard, whatever he called his fake name. Maybe he had a gig as, I don't know, fucking a photographer or something. He's going around making money on the side. It's like, how else are you doing all this? Because, again, you have literally nothing to your name. Although he could be printing money for all I fucking know with that magic machine from No Way Home. If it is, I don't know. So it's like, we kind of reset him from No Way Home. That was the point. But then you reversed that for this movie, and the levels of technology that he has and the levels of technology he's going to create in this film, it leads to some big problemos. So that was my impression of the opening.
Okay. I mean, you're probably going to hear a lot of this from me that didn't really bother me at all. I really didn't give a shit about that. I'm just like, all right,
that's a-okay.
cool, neat, fine. He's got his place, he's got his stuff and all that. Because that's the thing. We've seen him with a job before. We've seen him do all that shit. Just, I don't care. I don't give a shit. Like what he had at the movie, I was just like, all right, fine, cool.
So
neat.
Perfect way from what Walken said. Let's talk about the characters. Let's get and talk about the performers, because you bring up saying you Walkers in your shoes. You didn't care that we got a montage that he got the attic. He spoke. Hey, you take cash. Cool. I don't have a credit. He said that. Hey, I'm not going to school. The one thing that I do agree with Trev, he should have been a fucking photographer like every Peter Parker is to at least get money by the Daily Bugle, because we seen J. Jonah Jameson literally be a character, and supposedly we heard that he had a cameo in the film, but it got cut out, which that would have been helpful. That hey, if you was gonna make money, you could have been like every Peter Parker in every fucking multiverse, be a photographer, and that's how you make money.
Now, I do actually have a question as the resident New Yorker in the call. How easy would it have been to get a place like that in New York?
You have to find somebody to know somebody, and also in Chinatown, you gotta know someone to find someone like that to have a addict like that and have trust and pay cash. Where some people will be like, yeah, to pay me $100. Some people won't give a fuck. That's possible, but you just gotta know somebody, find somebody.
Okay, because so that puts into my mind. Okay, all right, fine, cool. All right, headcanon there. Cool, neat. All right. How else did you want to? You were like transitioning into something.
Yes. So.
And then you're just like, oh, I need food. Yum.
Yes, chat. I'm eating my beautiful dinner. If you want to check out the picture of it, go check out in the Discord chat of the Food Wars channel, because that's where I post my food and the beautiful food I eat or get cooked or me cook. Either way, when it comes to what Trevor was talking about, when it comes to the characters and what they have done, Peter Parker has a high-tech Batcave, literally in the attic, and literally could turn and have his spiderwebs literally have run tests of his powers and his A1 chip of how to subdue his spider powers. Honestly, I'm one of those people that the montage felt like explained. How does he pay for this? Either Aunt May has a good life savings, maybe her death got him a good 100K, 200K, 500K.
Her life insurance.
Her life insurance.
How would that work? He's not tied to her in any way now. He's gone. The spell took care of all that.
Everyone forgets who Peter Parker is, but his identity is to help him and show that in the will, if it say this person, my nephew gets all my property, maybe she gets that, or maybe.
But how would they know who Peter Parker is if that he doesn't exist? No one knows who he is.
Look, I'm just letting the small details not too much bother me in this one. Honestly, like, look, when it comes to Peter Parker, if he has his ID that says Peter Parker from the New York State government of the DMV, he can literally go to the bank and be like, hey, my Aunt May has this will, or to the Iron Man Tower that where from what we know from Far From Home before.
I was about to say, unfortunately, that doesn't work because the whole point of getting rid of every trace of Peter Parker from existence, including digital, was because of Mysterio.
Yes,
so
because
digital,
Mysterio.
physical, spiritually, Peter Parker does not exist anywhere.
Yeah, so like I said, in a 4-year montage that shows of where we were to where we are now, at the end of the day, it doesn't faze me. We show the montage. He's a hero. He has a relationship with a captain type cop, and says that they've been working together. He has her number and speed dial. She says straight up, "Hey, you don't even know my kid's name." He's like, "Yeah, not yet, but by the end of the film, he does." He puts the work. He shows that hey, he's putting the work of who he is. But how does he have money that we're aware of? No. How does he buy his bacon, egg, and cheese or his sausage, egg, and cheese type of deal when he goes to the corner store? Don't know. But he's Spider-Man. He probably gets it for free. At the end of the day, somehow he pays the rent. How? Maybe Uncle Ben, maybe Aunt May, maybe Iron Man money, Or maybe he robs a bank and we don't know. Or maybe when he saves the people, he gives them, maybe he gets tip money.
Iron Man, that fucking bum, didn't even give any Avengers a loan. Falcon couldn't get a loan on a home because Tony Stark didn't give any of the Avengers any money upon his death. That's the funniest shit to me.
We're kind of talking in circles when it comes to all this. We have a lot more to kind of talk about when it comes to characters and all that. So I'm sorry. I'm going to push us a little forward here with everything because we'll be here all night trying to theory craft how Peter Parker's been paying for all this stuff. So yeah, you mentioned the because again, there's a lot of characters for Spider-Man to kind of bounce off of here. We have the police captain who, he does forge a really good relationship with. Like, in a way, she's kind of like his boss in a way, but like, again, he's not getting paid for it, but like, she does at least show some sort of concern through him throughout the whole movie, which I really liked. She was somebody that's like trying to be the shoulder for Peter, trying to be somebody to like, be like, hey, or like at least tell him, hey, don't work so hard, man. Like take a day off. It's fine to take a day off, and it is fine to take a day off. No, I don't care if it's shit what kind of job you have. You need a day off so you can just relax. You can take your mind off of things, and that way you don't go crazy with whatever job you're doing. And I'm glad that, like, by the end of the movie, like you were saying, Vash, Spider-Man actually, Peter Parker learns her kids' names and all that. Like, you could see that, he kind of took a lot of the stuff he learned throughout the movie and is now incorporating it to a point where now he's actually trusting and like letting the police do some of the job, like kind of delegating that work in a way where it's just like, and even the police chief's just like, Spider-Man, don't worry about it. We can handle a simple bank robbery. At least until they find out it's like the fucking Rhino robbing the bank. But, that's for like 5 minutes later, So I at least like that when it comes to like, at least with the police chief with it. I mean, a smaller character compared to who everybody else we had. But I thought she played her role pretty well here.
I do agree. Also, her moment when Spider-Man was in his man spider almost form, is what we'll call it, when he turns to just black eyes, and he wrecked Scorpion to the cop car, and I'm like, no lie, I'm like, oh shit, the cop, health insurance. That's my first thought. I'm like, oh shit, health insurance. And then Peter tried to check on the cop, like, hey, are they all right? They're good. Hey, the cop was like, bro, right now's at the time. Too many eyes right now. Go home, recuperate, whatever's going on. Fix this shit, because if you don't fix this shit, I can't help you. Literally, when I heard that line, it reminds me of every goddamn cop that has worked with fucking Peter Parker, aka any Spider-Man. Because it reminds me of Captain Stacy, of fucking any of the captains that has worked with Peter. Anytime they say, you fix this shit, I can't help you no more. You get your shit fixed, and we can work it together. So I'm like, that reminds me of any cop and vigilante relationship. Always.
Yeah. But even more so here, because like, yeah, he beat Scorpion at that moment, but it's like, hey, it kind of came with some collateral damage, which, again, for all you MHA fans out there, and for some, other superhero products that we've watched, we mentioned Man of Steel. Yeah, collateral damage is a thing. Let's keep acknowledging it, and maybe, taking some sort of responsibility or like having some sort of reflection on it. And that was mainly her thing right there. Just like, look, that's not you. Like, I've worked with you enough to be like, that's not you. Go away. Let me handle this. Cause yeah, if you stick around any longer, like Vash said, I can't help you.
Yep.
So yeah, a good anchor for him.
Do you have any thoughts on her, or let's move on to the next character?
Yeah, she was fine in my book. Part of me kept thinking, hey, maybe you should arrest him, but at the same time, was she aware of the mind control? Because I honestly forget. Was she aware of people getting mind control?
He was trying to like get that across, but he was so frantic in the moment that he couldn't really get it across to her. Like, at least, but yeah.
Yeah, so I will give her, like, you know, if it was like, okay, there's a chance that fucking Spider-Man got mind controlled. So, you know, it's like, if that was the case, maybe you should try to arrest him. But at the same time, there is a trust there. So I do like how she trusts him. So yeah. Although she should have probably gone. I don't like how Peter has Dark Knight level tech to spy on everyone, and she learns of that, and then she just waves it off as a joke. It's like, I don't know about that one. And there's also the fact that even Spider-Man was against fucking mass surveillance. Far From Home had that scene where he had the AI, and it's like, would you like to spy on this person's social media? It's like, no, that's not spying. Hell no. It's like,
hey, sometimes time changes people.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, this is part of like that kind of character regression in this movie for him, where it's just like he is doing these things that are a little bit more like not so much on, you know, the bright area of things. Like, he's doing things that, like, yeah, he normally wouldn't do, because again, he's so like focused on the job, focused on the mission in a way where it's just like, okay, yeah, I have to have the surveillance like right here. And yeah, she had every right to probably arrest him there, but I mean, if we look at anything any of these superheroes do, a lot of them should be arrested for just about everything they do.
So,
like,
before we talk about the superheroes that got also involved, let's talk about a person that we mentioned, Scorpion. Any thoughts on Scorpion in the film? Him being as a supporting villain and everything. How do we feel about his little small cameos that he was, you know, whipped and crooked and beat up by Black as Peter Parker or Spider-Man? But also in the beginning when he got transported from damage control, from going into the helicopter into a different prison. How do we feel about his little cameo? Any thoughts, Trevor?
It's like Scorpion, I wouldn't even call him a character. He had like one line that was as Scorpion himself, and then the next time we see him, he was just a mind control puppet. So I feel bad for him, but you don't really get Scorpion. That's why I have a little hot take where the fucking Rhino from TASM 2 had a more impactful screen time than Scorpion, because at least that was Rhino, and at least that led to Spider-Man saving a kid. With Scorpion, what do you get with him as a character? Shows up, gets hit with the piano, and then he comes back, and then he has a fight with Spider-Man. But that's not really Scorpion. That's a certain other character that we're going to get into soon. It's like, it's not really him at all. The best thing that he offers is a line that Spider-Man took down as a note, but somehow forgot, where it's like, I don't know, I don't remember what happened. How did I get here? That's it. That's his main contribution.
Well, again, you got to think of the moment too that Spider-Man was in, especially, you know, like immediately after that, he's freaking out because like freaking out to the police chief, like he can barely get his thoughts out at all. So like he's already in a frantic mode. And also on top of that, you know, he was juiced. I'm gonna call it juiced up when he's like getting into man spider mode. But like that's the thing. He was already juiced up on his hormones already. So it's just like, yeah, you know, Scorpion said that line like he didn't remember anything. But like whenever you're in a moment like that, like sometimes things like that do just kind of pass you by until like you get reminded of something very, you know, when it comes back up again later on. That's when it kind of clicks back in again. It's just like, wait a minute, like something like that. So like that's why, like, you know, yeah, I mean, I see why you would think that, but it's just like, you got to think more of just like the character in the moment at that aspect, where it's just like, yeah, there was a lot just going on, like in here, in like just all around him. Like, yeah. So that's why, like, something like that, I'm like, okay, I understand in the moment here.
I can see your argument. I do just want to have this in the back pocket where this is not the first time that information is relayed. So,
and again, there's a lot of emotion going on. There's a lot of like mental anguish going on that you got to kind of keep in mind as well as you continue through the movie and continue through each scene that goes on when it comes to Peter and Spider-Man. Well, Peter / Spider-Man. Yeah.
I was about to say we'll get to the other times. We will happily go through them when they pop up.
The next one I was going to bring up that we speak about him. How do you feel about Punisher? Let's go with Punisher first. As one of the characters that has shown in the trailers, by the way, because I was not one of them that saw all the trailers or the teasers. I just saw maybe one or two and then call it a day and then ignore everything else and just went in the film. Seeing this Punisher, I don't know how they have portrayed him in Spider-Man. I mean, in Daredevil Born Again or in Punisher in the special they had. I don't know how they have portrayed him. But this iteration of Frank Castle, done by John Berto, played for Punisher, I really enjoyed the chemistry and dynamic between them. This felt like a Punisher that I'm known from the comics, that I'm known that even when they did the iconic scene of Punisher carrying Peter Parker to the hospital because of a shot, well, for them was a different scene, a different moment in the comic, but just the same aspect showing that moment was really symbolic. It was pretty cool. But for Punisher in this character, I really enjoy him, and that's why I said in the beginning of the show that he is the fourth Spider-Man, because he dressed up as the fake Spider-Man at the office.
That's what you meant by
at the
that.
hospital, because he literally was wearing the suit. Yes! Yes! When I wasn't actually fucking Peter Parker, so I was fucking laughing about the aspect. But how you guys feel about Punisher being fighting and screaming of who saved who from Staten Island, and Zendaya and just saying, it sounds like it was Peter that saved you. So how do you feel about this, Watkins? Because this was a beautiful moment. I enjoyed Punisher as a character in this film, and it made a lot of sense. And this man don't give a fuck by shooting Spider-Man with a shotgun and then having a spare one to go as well.
Yeah. So I feel like this is like one of the characters, besides another one we'll talk about here in a little bit. This is one of the characters I feel like a lot of people are going back and forth on, because there's the camp that are just like, oh yeah, I loved Punisher. He was great. He was awesome. Then there's the other ones that are just like, this ain't my Punisher. This ain't, this ain't my guy. And it's like, I could see both sides of it. I can honestly do, because you kind of do have to acknowledge the fact that they did kind of neuter Punisher in this movie, like in a way to tie it into our wrestling things. This is literally what happened to Jacob Fatu when Roman Reigns beat him. He basically tamed the dog and tamed the beast and all that. So I can at least acknowledge, okay, yeah, I can tell that they neutered him a little bit. But with that being said, I didn't mind his I did like his relationship with Peter. I really like how, like, not only just the back and forths they had, but I do like how he was somebody, because again, Punisher, he's somebody that lost everything. And they had the short talk, the short interaction where he's just like, you think I enjoy living like this with all these booby traps around, with on this shit boat, eating freaking chili every night, probably. I mean, I'm assuming that's what he eats every night, but that's whatever. Just kind of that realism with it. And I mean, even earlier in the movie too, where they were chasing down the tank and all that, and Spider-Man got rid of the first gun. Punisher, even though he shot it, Spider-Man was there, but it's like you could tell through the movie that in like their interactions and their relationship and all that, he was aiming for the tank. It's just, Spider-Man was there. And if Spider-Man can't get out of the way, well, tough shit. I guess you're really not any shit, Spider-Man. Like you could tell just again from their interactions that was really like that aspect of it. Cause I know I saw like a few complaints with that. I'm just like, no, if you guys, actually kind of paid attention to how they were interacting with each other, you can kind of glean that from that moment. But yeah, I feel like Punisher was, again, another person that Peter needed to kind of see like what true isolation looks like. Because at least with Peter, he's still interacting with a few people. Like he's still interacting with, some government workers. He's still interacting with like the police chief and all that. So he's still getting all that. Freaking Punisher, like he's just on his own. Like the only person he has, at least currently right now, and again, I haven't watched Daredevil, the only person he has is Spider-Man. And like they have this thing about Staten Island. I don't know what happened on there. I mean, maybe that's where freaking Wukong is buried underneath the mountain. But like,
Just hiding under the Statue of Liberty.
Yep, just right there. Oh, that's what the issue was. One of them had to feed him. That's what it was. But yeah, like I can at least acknowledge like the negative parts of it, but like again, like I feel like the emotional aspect of it, because like again, he was the one that was like, even though he was the one that shot Peter, he also like was there in the hospital with him to make sure he was fine. So like almost in a way, Peter and Spider-Man were kind of like the one beacon of light for Punisher, because like Punisher's story is really fucking dark. Like that, his whole like, yeah, I mean, again, I haven't read too much with the comics, but knowing enough of the character from like other media and movies and just ingraining some aspect of him, like, yeah, his story is not all sunshine and rainbows. It's not all happy, but like to have at least that one beacon of light can kind of help guide you in a better way, you know. And we kind of see that, you know, with the end of the movie where like, yeah, he did shoot Peter, but like he kind of saw through Peter's actions, like, okay, he is a good guy. He is a good person. And I can actually kind of I can learn to trust a little more in him, you know, even if he, you know, makes a mistake here and there, you know, and I'll call him out for it because I'm a fucking New Yorker. I'm going to call him out on his bullshit. Like I can at least still like do something for him. And yeah, I feel like their relationship actually like is beneficial for both of them in a way. But again, I can also see the point of him being neutered. I get that. I can acknowledge that. I have the self-awareness to know that. But I mean, at the end of the day, I liked it. It was fine.
I'm also self-aware that if he is neuter, I get it. But for me in this film, he was exactly for the right role and the right portrayal for what it was for the relationship between him and Peter Parker, Spider-Man. So to me, that worked really well. On top of that, it's just the relationship between them of Peter and Spider-Man with Daredevil. It reminded me a lot of what Daredevil and Spider-Man also has with the relationship, but less chaotic like that. It's just one of my favorite scenes. It was when MJ was stuck in the mines and Peter was literally bickering with Punisher of trying to say who was right from Staten Island, and then they was like, I honestly don't give a fuck. I try to get almost killed. I'm just trying to find a safe place to sleep.
Yeah.
And just their relationship, that dynamic is really dope. Because the reason I'm bringing this up, because what happens at the end of the film, when Punisher, sniper shot, no giving a fuck, was intentional to kill Jean Grey. But Peter Parker, Spider-Man, said, nah, let me shoot me. The most funniest thing is that a lot of people in the fandom on the timeline saying, yo, how did Peter survive that? I'm like, that's the point. If a regular human would get killed by that sniper bullet, that's a full sniper bullet that's like the size of 3-6 inches. That's a full motherfucking size sniper bullet that on a regular human being with no powers will get shot and killed and not try to get surgery and alive. Peter survived because of his powers, and when I saw on the town that people was dead, I was trying to bring like, Punisher was using like probably special, but like special or not, like sniper bullets will do something. Like that still saved Peter. He was just also using his reflex. Like that's just the way I saw it. But I don't know, Walker's, you was about to say something, and then I was going to pass it on to Trevor.
I was going to say he actually only survived because of Jean Grey.
Yeah,
that too as well.
Like
that too as well.
Well, no, specifically that reason. Like that is why he survived, because she
kept him alive.
Yeah, like Jean kept him alive long enough to get him to the hospital with her powers. Like, yeah, I mean, as durable as Spider-Man is, he was bleeding out. He's
not bulletproof. He's never been bulletproof.
Yeah, he's never bulletproof. Sure, 100%.
So, yeah, that was more on Jean Grey, but I do see what you're getting at with that. But Yeah, Trevor, go.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on
know-
Punisher? Like, how do you feel about him within this film? Do you feel like he's a fraud of a character?
You know, Watkins, I want to give a point to you, my best friend. You made me change my mind on Punisher a little, especially with your whole ending.
Toolbox lives.
Okay, that's not Toolbox, you motherfucker. We'll look around that. The way that you describe that, you know, he might cry because, you know, Spider-Man is like a light, you know, a light of hope, and he shot New York's hero, and he might have robbed another. Yeah, I really like that. I will not focus on the ending of that character.
No.
However, that ain't my Punisher. That ain't my Punisher. To reference you,
here we go,
my Punisher. Punisher to me, he was a complete clown show from beginning to right to the up to Watkins part about the end. That was really beautiful. So Spider-Man, as we went over, it's not bulletproof. Watkins, I want to kind of go against that. This is just my stance on this. It's like, I can get that, you know, firing a grenade at Spider-Man, and it's like, if he dodges, he dodges. If he doesn't, it fucked him up. I have a feeling, you know, just my stance, feel like Punisher wouldn't fire a grenade at Spider-Man anyway. Well, I know you said he was aiming for the tank, but it was like, it's a big tank. You didn't have to aim right at Spider-Man, but that's whatever. That's whatever.
Spider-Man was in the way, but whatever. Yeah.
But his actions throughout the course of this film, it just, Punisher is not that hard to write, but you also have to handle him with care. Otherwise, he becomes a walk-in Shadow the Edgelord meme. Because this is a guy that lost his family to crime, and he kills criminals because of that. He does not try to go after innocent people because, you know, he doesn't want any innocent people to, you know, die or have their own families lost. That's the whole point of Punisher. However, throughout this film, he almost kills MJ 3 separate times through fallen debris and cracks jokes about that. It's like, strike one. And then when Jean Grey possesses 2 humans in the DODC, I'm not going to call it damage control out of respect for you, buddy, old pal. Not to bring up that one wrestler. When he shows up there and finds out that, hey, 2 innocent people are being mind controlled, what does he do? He guns them down. He just kills them. It's like, no, Frank, no. And then when he gets to the Hulk, everyone in this universe knows the Hulk. Everyone knows about the fucking Hulk. And what does Frank do? He shoots it. Even though everyone knows that the Hulk is bulletproof, the Hulk is explosion proof, the Hulk is human proof. It's pretty much what I want to say. He's human proof, and yet Frank just keeps shooting at it. But then he's like, wait, I have an idea. I will go after the telepath that can mind control. And then Spider-Man warns him, like, don't worry, just stay out of 33 feet and she can't get you. Hawkins, he just pretty much walks into that enemy stands territory.
As soon as he did, I'm just like, yeah. Well, no. My thing with it was just like, I honestly kind of would have switched it. I would have been like, all right, Frank, you distract the Hulk. You don't have to kill him. Just distract him because I can get through the telepath. So I'll take care of her. You know, and especially, you know, with him being like, Frank, don't kill her.
Yeah, and like, also it's like, but yeah, again, because, you know, you could really have an easy thing. It's like, oh yeah, her range is 33 feet. Good thing I have these things called ranged weaponry. I can cap her in the leg if I have to. And it's like, yeah, you could do that. And then he just walks into her stand territory, and then we have a JoJo instant win to show off the ability of the enemy stand.
This guy's messed up. I feel like Jean Grey would be more messed up inside the Punisher's head.
That reaction was hilarious.
I was was going to end my section on that. I was going to end the section on that.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
This motherfucking bint takes over the Punisher's mind. And when her whole thing, we're about to get into this character, her whole thing is trying to discover what happened to her sister. And, when she finds out what happens, it goes full on revenge and stuff. I feel like if he were to take over the mind of someone like Punisher and have immediate access to all of his experiences, all of his memories, all of his fucking trauma, feel like you would not have the reaction of, oh man, this guy's messed up. I feel like you would have a moment, or maybe a long moment to reconsider. It's like, oh shit, oh god, he's made for real, kind of like that energy. It's like, man,
I'm sorry, Trev, you are too optimistic. If I jump into somebody's body and did a montage of what they went through, my response would have been, damn, they're messed up. In a elaborative, maybe I would have done a more analysis and be like, okay, I see the emotional aspect, his life, crime and everything. I totally understandable. Italian, Queens, you dealing with gangs and everything, understandable. But if I just jump into somebody's body, I would have said the same thing she said. This guy messed up in the head. Well, I was laughing when this man was literally grabbing stuff and Peter's getting his ass kicked by the Hulk, and he's like, keep having fun with that. Bye. I love it. It was a good humor.
I was going to say, though, when Jean Grey does enter people, she ultimately becomes them as well, as we see. Like, she becomes Tom Holland in a later scene. So essentially, she is reliving, or not even reliving, she is going through all that trauma pretty much firsthand from her mental scape. So I feel like that would, at the very least, give her some pause, because losing your family, that is something she can relate to, even though she's a complete psychopath. But yeah, still. That's all I got.
No. Now you brought up a character earlier that we should talk, because don't worry, Jinger's next, guys, literally the next one after this person, Hulk. Let's get talking about him.
This poor bastard.
Talking about the Hulk right now means I have to revisit She-Hulk.
Well, guess what? You got to, because...
And I repressed those memories because I hated that show.
I'm confused.
I repressed it so much that I forgot about the little wrist thing, I guess.
Yep. We all did, don't worry.
Because he's just like, oh yeah, I have this wrist thing. I'm just like, I'm sitting there in a movie theater. I'm like, because that's like that is my one big gripe with it. That is my one big thing. I'm just like, I was just like, wrist thing? What? And then somebody on Twitter was just like, oh yeah, that was in She-Hulk. I'm like, oh fuck, I did watch She-Hulk. Oh god.
Honestly, don't remember that being She-Hulk.
No one should remember that show.
No, I don't even remember that being a She-Hulk, so I'm just confused. I'm like, when was that?
It was like episode 1.
Yeah, like
and you never see it again.
Yeah, it was like after like their little training thing, I think. And he explained it kind of like he did in the movie. If I don't want to remember, but if I remember correctly,
so I can help you with that.
Yeah.
Because there was the comment of like, how come you're not Hulk? I thought you were Hulk all the time. It's like, oh, I came up with this nifty inhibitor that keeps me human, and then they get into that car wreck, and then the blood transfusion after that, and that's pretty much the bulk of it.
Okay, all right, yeah, because it's just like yeah. Go ahead.
But then, like, Hulk, this is why this is a nitpick for me, chat. Audience, people watching, people listening on the audio side. This shit pisses me off because the Hulk has been so consistent from Thor Ragnarok, from Avengers, the directors in Avengers, they have him as Smart Hulk, or I call him Grey Hulk, is a mixture of the Hulk in the comics and everything else. I was telling Trev, this is my headcanon, chat. This is my headcanon. This is what I've seen other people have said, and then I put it into my own headcanon. This version of Hulk, because we saw him in She-Hulk, we Hulk pop out from a family dinner, say, yo, this is my son, Sakaar. I'm like, all right, cool. We can't forget that, all right, cool. But then a couple years later, somehow his gamma radiation powers is going up the charts. He can't control it. So then obviously we get the Hulk with a gamma radiation type of inhibitor. So then my guess is what I was telling Trev off air is that what happened if we have a Hulk to Old Man Hulk, just like we have in Old Man Logan from the comics, where Old Man Hulk has more of the gamma radiation powers over Banner, and Banner hasn't come out like in 2-5 years because Old Man Hulk has taken more of the power of the gamma radiation because of Hulk Banner losing his strength to control that will of the gamma radiation. So I'm like, okay, if that's the solution, then I could forgive Marvel. I could forgive what they're doing with the Hulk. If this is the far reach goal of where we could be headed to, is this could be the North Star of the character Hulk. But that's a big maybe, because it depends if they actually stick the landing or if they fuck up and fail. So only time will tell. But that Hulk stuff, see him that big, even Peter saying, damn Hulk, I didn't know you turned this big, this big. I'm like, yeah man, that's how he truly could be. He could look like Savage Hulk at some point. He's that powerful, so that's really cool to see. And for anybody that don't know, Peter could withhold himself. He cannot be Hulk, just saying, no. But he can withhold himself against Hulk in the comics. He has done that very well. But there's also a moment that Peter and Hulk interacted when everyone forgot who he is. And Hulk said, Banner may have forgotten who you are, but Hulk does remember. So maybe at the end, at the scaffolding, at the building part falling apart for Hulk to be gone because the webs are still holding the rocks behind him, he remember him from what we could tell. But also, one last thing before I transition to Trevor and anybody else that wants to jump in about the whole conversation, is that in Hulk's class, we got our girl named Cindy, and that is being portrayed by the Spider-Man character called Silk. For anybody that don't know, that character was bitten by the same radioactive spider that bit Tom Holland or any of the Peter Parkers. So that has the same powers. But then there's a little if. For anybody that don't know the powers of Silk, she gets horny. Yes. She gets horny.
So she was the blonde girl from the other apartment.
No,
in disguise.
Oh, that's a big maybe for sure. Could be possible, but yes. But anybody that have missed that, we have a cameo of Cindy in the Hulk's class, and it's not the first time we have seen this actress. This is the second time that we have seen this character of Silk. Could it mean something? Only time will tell. Who the fuck knows when it comes to Sony and Marvel and their partnership in the future when it comes to Spider-Man characters and everything else. But Trev, I'm gonna pass on to you. What you think of my thoughts of Hulk? And did I throw your mind when it comes to this Silk cameo?
I do want to comment where if we were to power scale Spider-Man and Hulk, it just reminds me of that line of Jack Sparrow from At World's End. It's like, we will fight to run away. That's pretty much all Spider-Man can do.
Yes.
Fight to run away.
Yeah, the Joseph Joestar way of fighting.
Hey.
Yes.
There's your second JoJo reference of the evening, folks.
So Vash, I do like your theory on, the Hulk's behavior throughout the movie. Fortunately, since that is a theory, I gotta go with my own little theory.
Talk to me.
I'm still in the camp of. Okay, well, I got backtracked. I do like how he became a professor, and he actually does have like a life. At long last, he has a normal life once again.
Hey.
That's true. Yeah, you're right. There is no Betty though, but that's true.
I mean, it's like, take what you can get, man. But then, man, it's Age of Ultron all over again, where some random girl invades his mind, and it's still unclear to me whose mind did she do. What makes this weird is it's Endgame's fault, essentially, because in Endgame you have the line where it's like Bruce and Hulk are like one in the same. They partnered. They're like that was the whole point of their fusion endgame. Like they're one. They are one and the same. They have the brawn and the brains. And even with the inhibitor on in She-Hulk, that just made him look human. To my knowledge, that doesn't really like suppress, like get rid of the Hulk. So when you get rid of the inhibitor, did Jean go after the Hulk's mind? That's the only way this could make sense.
So I think what it was when Jean took him over, she got rid of the inhibitor so that way he would be Hulk. But what ended up happening with everything, and we saw this too as she was like fighting as the Hulk, she couldn't really control him too well, or like she was very much in pain as she was like trying to work his body.
That was Bruce trying to take control, right?
Exactly,
not just the Hulk.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was Bruce. It was Broke. No. It was Broke trying to take control, but I think what ended up happening with that is the way when he was able to finally break free of the control. That's what kind of snapped them. Think of it how like how Vegito went into Super Buu and then all of a sudden he just kind of snapped back into Goku and Vegito. That's kind of what happened to
defusion.
That's kind of that's kind of what happened to Hulk's mind there, where like when he was able to break free, it kind of broke everything else. So like all that stuff that whatever he did in Endgame happened was taken out, and now the Hulk, and I kind of like Vash's idea too of like the gamma radiation kind of like becoming more and more, because like again we see that with Peter in this movie where it's just like more of his spider genes are kind of increasing, especially with the stress and all that. And with Hulk, his whole big thing is he turns big and green when he's angry. Like all that stress can kind of add on to that. And if it's true that maybe the gamma radiation did get a little stronger within him, that Hulk like took over in that instance. But that's kind of how I saw that moment, because again, like because we saw like Jean can't take over Spider-Man because of I'm sure there's a comic book reason. Yeah, I'm sure there's a reason with it. Like, yeah, I was just like, all right, fine, whatever. He's immune to it. Cool, neat.
His will is too strong for me, or something.
He has conquerors hockey, of course. No. Hockey blooms on the battlefield.
No.
But like, because see, again, this is why I love how like each character kind of like is a good representation or like a good like foil for Spider-Man. Because like Hulk is another one where it's just like this is what like. Peter, you've felt what it's like to be that person that just doesn't give a shit and will go all out. How about you experience what it's like when somebody lets loose those inhibitors? They break through their limiters or whatever terminology you want to actually use for it. Like, it's a good way for him to feel that, because like, exactly, but see, that's why it's so good for the Hulk too, because it's like you had a character that like had that balance for a bit, but again, because of mental snap and gamma radiation doing its thing compared to like spider genes, like we saw what happens when you let go of all that. And Peter, like now he got to feel it. He got to feel what the officer felt at that moment when he was fighting the Hulk and all that. But like now he can like kind of work on like now he can start like actually working on having the balance with it, like being his own self, being both like Spider-Man and Peter Parker. Like again, that's why that like big scene with him with the hand at the end is real, like it's really powerful in that aspect, because we'll talk about that. We'll talk about it later.
What? Let's workshop off. I get it one. Though. Yeah, you know what? That's I'll give you another slight point on that one, because I did not get what the Hulk was, but you explained that. That makes sense. She separated the Hulk, defused them. That makes sense considering what she can do later in this film. The only other thing I want to comment on it just makes me sad where it's like, again, this is why I say it's Days of Ultron all over again. He got mind controlled into attacking a city. It wasn't his fault. And then he loses everything because like the life he had, it's gone. It's over. He's going into like another psych ward because of that.
Yeah. Bro was wrapped up going into the ambulance truck, and I'm like, I hope that's not the case. Like, it wasn't him. And the first thing he asked is like, I didn't hurt anybody, right? I didn't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
Nobody got hurt, right? I'm like, damn, my God, you have such PTSD.
Dude, when that happened, I was like, shit, you ruined his life again. No, fuck you, Jean Grey. God damn it, you better have comeuppance. What do you mean your walk free is a fuck? So, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Only time will tell when it comes to that.
Look, I think there's also some meta reasons, like outside of the MCU, for why the Hulk is ending up the way he is.
Wait, did Mark Ruffalo do something?
Oh no! Like I said, Universal has the rights of the movie, so that's one of the big reasons why they just haven't actually focused on that. So when it comes to that, but let's talk about the last two supporting cast before we get to the big bad and any of the cons. Let's talk about MJ, Mary Jane, and Ned. Peter's best friend is not Harry Osborn, is Ned. So how do you guys feel about the reunion of MJ and Ned with Peter Parker do the handshake at the end, ending off the film, that Ned saying, Peter, is that you?
There are two routes with that Peter line,
and only one is correct.
There's two routes, but Trevor, you start. I feel
Alrighty then.
You go.
So MJ, I did not like. I thought she was a nothing burger. In all honesty, I didn't really feel, even though she is like a major plot. How do I put this? She's pretty much a plot device, I guess you could just call it that. Throughout the whole film, she's just there to be this constant reminder. She's there as a one time as an obstacle, and then as a reminder. It's like, it's hard to really comment on her character because I didn't really get a sense of a character from her this time around, which is really weird considering the home trilogy. It's hard to put her into words, man. Yeah. Sorry, just little mind blank. I also thought about how it ties to that. But you know how the emotional whiplash that Peter felt, that existential dread where he starts to become the man spider, and then his AI goes like, did you experience a traumatic event? And it's like, MJ kissed a guy even though I let her have a life and all that. It's like, oh, that was the event? For sure Aunt May or Tony Stark or Infinity War and Endgame or any of the past three movies, they think they might be trauma enough. But it's MJ. Okay. But I mean, moving on from that shit. Ned, he's all right. He doesn't do too much, but I do like his little tale where he tries to find Spider-Man because, he doesn't remember Peter, but he remembers Spider-Man, and Spider-Man saved his life a bunch. It's all one big hazy fog, and he's trying to naturally figure out who is this guy, who is this web crawler that saved my life. I just want to thank him. And then when they all have their little reunion and MJ name drops Peter, and then you have the final scene where they just do the handshake on instinct, and he says Peter, and it's like, oh, he put it together. It's like, oh shit, you're Peter from here, you're Peter from the apartment, you're Spider-Man, oh my god, you're Spider-Man, woo! If there was anything to go against Ned, it's the fact that MJ was Jean Grey was able to find MJ to do her evil plan, her little assault plan, lip-smacking assault plan, because Ned doxed her. It's like, Ned, no. Why just Ned? No. That's a big old plot hole for me. It's like, no, Ned, why you?
So
I got nothing.
Okay, all right, cool. To counter some of your MJ part, I don't know if I would. She was definitely a plot device. I'll say that, but like, I wouldn't say she was more of a nothing burger. And you had mentioned like, oh, she just kissed a guy. That's not traumatic enough. It actually kind of is because it's a trigger. It's what people call a trigger, because like Peter seeing that just reminds him that, this is technically a different MJ, but at the same time, that's MJ who doesn't remember me because of all this other stuff. And you had mentioned, wasn't Aunt May this, wasn't Tony Stark that, but like, that's the thing about a trigger. It'll trigger all of those emotions right back at you. So all that trauma that you felt during those moments, because that's the thing. The Aunt May stuff happened, that happened in, sorry, I'm blanking on the movie again. No Way Home.
No Way Home.
Yeah, which, at the end of that movie too, was when he had everybody forget about Peter Parker and Spider-Man and all that stuff. Like, he lost everyone because of that decision, and being triggered and remembering the decision he made and how he really can't do much about it. And it gets reinforced later on when Jean Grey was just like, yeah, there's nothing of you in here. Like, at all. Like, she really does not remember you at all.
I'm sorry. I'm really
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't think I conveyed my point. I think I got it wrong. What I was trying to say is like the man spider transformation was linked to traumatic events, and I can understand where you're coming from with the MJ thing. It's just weird that the other stuff was not a factor. That trauma, Aunt May, Tony Stark, that didn't awaken the man spider gene.
Well, again, this is why like I try to emphasize earlier, like you got to think of like the whole situation that he's in, because for the better part of 4 years,
a culmination, you mean?
Exactly, yeah.
Like,
I see the whole, like, for 4 years he's been bogged down, like, fighting crime, like bogged down with work and trying to like distract himself from all that. Granted, hasn't really helped because he's having parasocial relationships with MJ and Ned through Instagram reels, But yeah, again, like that's why I try to emphasize, like, that was the trigger for all of this, because it brought back all that trauma that he thought he left behind, but now that he's kind of exposing, like, again, this is why I mentioned too, like, whenever you've like isolated yourself in like certain situations like this, and you kind of go back, or like you see that person again, and then you see what he saw with like her kissing that dude. Which what was his name again? For those out there, because apparently that was released with like the closed captions or something.
Wait, what now?
The new boyfriend of MJ's.
It was
we never got a name from him.
Played Ezra. Funny enough, it's the guy who played Ezra Bridger in the Ahsoka series.
Well, no. Here's the thing, because apparently with like the closed captions, they had a name for him.
Oh, they did?
Was it Paul? Please be Paul.
I think it was Paul. So yeah. Please fact check. Go on Twitter right now and type in MJ's boyfriend. Yeah, please fact check. I think his name is Paul, because they mentioned that.
Oh my God, it's a search thing already. Iman Esfande plays MJ's unnamed new boy. All right, but what's his name?
No, there was some Twitter shit on that. Stand by, folks. I know I saw it.
Wait, maybe in most versions of the movie, it hasn't been officially said what the boyfriend's called. In fact, it only mentions him as Paul. But people with captioned screenings are now reporting that the subtitles in their screening spell his name out as Paul. Jesus fucking Christ, this is too funny.
For all you comic book people out there, yeah, that was apparently this Paul guy.
Yeah, and for those that don't know, in the comics, Spider-Man had like a chance to finally be with Mary Jane, and then the next thing that happens, Mary Jane shacked up with a normal guy named Paul and had kids. He stole Peter Parker's life, essentially his dream life. Yeah, and then he died, and everyone cheered.
Yeah. Oh man, but like, yeah, with MJ, I mean, it's very tricky, and man, that letter scene. That that broke me. That destroyed me. Literally with her, I think it was her like during this time where like she made that line of like that was like a different life, or like that was a different MJ, like a different life and all that. And I shit you not, people, like it's when you get older and you start thinking back on life, different, like it really does feel like different lives were lived in different aspects of it. And man, that should just hit hard, and just kind of it hit more of the fact that like, yeah, these are different people. Yeah, they might be reconnecting. Yeah, they might be, becoming friends. And I know there's also some speculation about like her sitting at like on the roof of the school and like holding on to the necklace. I still don't think she remembers Peter. I still don't think, and I know some
I don't
people
think the spell
have
is
the hope
overridden that easily.
No, but I think she's piecing together after like reading the note that the past life MJ had all that, like you know what I mean? Like she's kind of reflecting on that, like she was happy and I'm still happy too, and like it's almost, again, it's like a reconnection in a way. So it's like even if they do get back together, it's as long as they don't go back and change like the magic aspect of like change the spell, because like if they do, we'll revisit this discussion and I will poop all over it, but as it stands right now, it's more of the reconnection. And I'm glad, Trevor, you caught it too, like the muscle memory just from instinct with the handshake with Ned, because that's what that was. And him like calling him Peter. Thank you for understanding why he said that. Because I had the slight idea. I had the slight thought when I walked out of the movie, and I had to get it confirmed. It was like, okay, it's either this or this. I'm thinking it's this, but let me double check with somebody. So I messaged a friend of ours. I'm just like, I have two things in my mind. I'm pretty sure it's the latter, but please justify my actions. So I'm glad more people see the light, that it's like, yes, let's keep the spell going.
It's fine if they
reconnect. Yeah, because we see too when they're just hanging out in the apartment, like the chemistry's there. Like it's an immediate chemistry. It's like when you meet your soulmate, or like when you meet your best friend soulmate and all that, like these two lovely gentlemen right here, like you just have that instant connection, that instant feeling. And it's just like, it's something you can't explain. It's just something you feel in the moment. And like, that's where like true friendships can bloom. And like the fact that like, again, we're not going back to it. It's just, it's a new phase. It's almost in a way a new friendship. I know, Vash, you're waiting to say something.
Just like in the portrait that she drew, she didn't draw his current suit. The suit that she drew, I don't know if this is a continuity error on their end in the art department or the writing department, but she drew by instinct his No Way Home suit.
Yeah,
with the gold line and everything. So Zendaya's character MJ was drawing by instinct that y'all look like best friends, like y'all been there forever, and she drew by instinct the No Way Home outfit instead of his current suit. So it makes a lot of sense when it comes to that. And one more thing I wanted to add that was not brought up earlier when it comes to Spider-Man turning into his Man Spider is that he was having his powers go out of whack into the Man Spider as well. But we also have to remember that even the computer, in my head, I keep calling the computer, by the way, Friday. I know it's not Friday, but he has a different name for it. But I don't know why I keep calling it Friday, but it's because Iron Man's after Jarvis was Friday. So in my head, I'm like, that's why. I don't know why Peter. But the AI of Peter said that the spider has 4 phases of evolution. In the baby phase.
Turn that video off.
it turned the video off, but then that's why in my head I'm like, we could still see Man Spider in film 5, in film 6. They could still grow this as, because right now he's controlling it, he's maintaining it, he's stabilizing this power of his version of Peter Parker, of Spider-Man. He's stabilizing it to a certain degree of control. And that's something that I love when it comes to Peter Parker in this movie, that he doesn't have full control of his power. He acknowledged that when he asked the question by Jean Grey, who are you, Peter Parker or are you Spider-Man? And he answered both. And then that's when he did the beautiful Insomniac Spider-Man reference of skill sets throughout this whole goddamn film, but specifically in this, and also was said in some press junkets that this was Chinese inspiration or martial arts. Such a scene that was really beautiful to see. Such a scene that the evolution of Peter Man-Spider. We might see more of that in the future, and that's something that I'm hoping to see as a fan, because that is a good, interesting way that we get introduced in the Phase 5, or I mean Film 5 or Film 6 of Tom Holland's films, that we could include the Venom symbiote, and that could ignite the spider powers that he couldn't control, and that's where you could get him more evolved into Man Spider, or we could have some Flash Thompson and everything connected. How's that going to connect to the Daily Bugle? Only time will tell when we get to the post credit and see where that goes. But what did you guys think of my additional information of, the young Spider, the 4 evolution, turning off that screen like Joaquin said, but also maybe having connection into the Film 5, Film 6 with the symbiote, maybe igniting that more, where we might get the Man Spider this time?
Trevor, I'm going to leave that up to you because I didn't get to hear all of the spiel.
Oh.
But
Trevor,
yeah,
so got any thoughts?
yeah.
If it leads to like the MCU version of the symbiote, that'd be a take, and then it could be interesting. That's all I got. It's a weird thing because, again, this Man Spider gene, we know really next to nothing about it, so we can't really say anything to be sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what we could be sure about is the last 2 segments of this show, of this review. We have the villains, the story aspect overall, and what do we expect to do with the post-credit scene of where the hell is Spider-Man. So let's get to our second to last, the villains. We already spoke about Scorpion. We spoke about the Hulk. Now let's speak about 2 things that was damage control, or the DOD, for one, because not to have some PTSD in him being sad during our show. And the second thing, Jean Grey was acted by Sadie Sink from Stranger Things, one of the big hit series from Netflix. But hey, she has a next project called the X-Men, the Multiverse, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So, Watkins, how did you feel about the DOD and them being the bad guys by almost killing, or did kill, a telepath by going over their extreme and by learning their powers, but then got their other sister to do an attack on them? But then Jean Grey was a villain to some people's eyes because she, like you said, mind raped peoples, and also froze time because the New York has gone through the Battle of New York, has gone through Endgame, aka Thanos, the blip, has gone through the void, and has gotten frozen. New York must have some great health insurance or life insurance or auto insurance to some extent, because that is some crazy ass New Yorker if you have lived through all that. So, Trevor, talk to me.
Oh, about the Department of Damage Control or
the
Jean?
villains,
Sure.
the villains aspect,
Okay.
aka DOD and Jean Grey, because those are the last 2 characters that we gotta talk about, aka the main plot of the story of this film.
Okay, so tell you what, Watkins, you go first. I have a feeling I'm gonna fucking monologue at this rate, so you go first, buddy old chum.
All right, let's see. So I'm gonna start with damage control, because I mean, on paper they're basically just the big bad government agency. So it's like, all right, we got that aspect going on for us. My biggest concern, they grabbed Peter's technology for the inhibitor.
Yep.
And since that works on mutants, that's definitely going to be a plot line, I feel like, later on, because now the government has that information. And whether it is damage control or somebody else that might be going to those files. Oh, speaking of files, we didn't talk about the big potato, but we'll mention her later, I think.
Don't worry. That's my ending.
Yeah. Okay, good. So like damage control, I mean, it's just whatever for me. I mean, not whatever and like they were bad. It's just like, I've seen this story before when it comes to like corrupt government agencies, but more like, we're doing what's best for the good, the greater good, if you will. Jean Grey, because this has also been the other big like talking point with people, because it's like, okay, because you have the one side that says like, oh, she could be redeemed, blah blah blah, all that stuff. She's she'll do great, she'll do fine, it's all good. And then there's the other group that are calling her war criminal, which both ends have their points. And that's where like Jean Grey kind of lies right here. And what I mean by all that too, I'm also going to preface this. How many MCU heroes are also war criminals? I can think of the start with Tony Stark, who was making a lot of weapons for all sides and was traumatized at finally seeing what all his weapons did. And that, in turn turned him around. But hey, he started as a war criminal, technically, to a point, from a certain point of view and all that. How many, assassins, like we can keep mentioning, just the war crimes. Hell, freaking Civil War happened because of like collateral damage from Avengers teams and all that. So,
the Sokovia Accords.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I see the point with like Jean Grey, and then like again, this is why I emphasized earlier too, to kind of like you kind of gotta look at it from these people's perspective. Like you gotta look into the perspective of the character and what they're going through in that moment, because this is a Jean Grey that not only was already abandoned by her mom, all she had was her sister, and then she loses that, and it's just like, she has nothing, like nothing at all. This wasn't like a Jean Grey that was raised by freaking Professor X or whatever. Like I believe some stories are. No, this is one that was like basically an orphan, and now just has nothing. Doesn't really like. Again, she's still like what she was like. Technically, the character in the movie was 18, if I'm correct, right?
If you're talking about Jean Grey character, I believe she was
Jean
18.
Grey.
Jean Grey, real life she's 23, and her older sister is in real life is supposed to be 16, and then in the movie she's supposed to be, I believe, was 2-3 years older than her.
Yeah, which that's weird in its own right with casting, but that's a whole other discussion. So it's just like, I can see like I can see why, exactly why her actions are considered bad, because they're considered horrific. I get that, but this is also somebody that like doesn't really have a lot to lose. Even though part of it is finding her sister and all that, but like she's kind of reached, I mean, in a way, what we're seeing with a lot of characters too, with Peter, with what happened with the Hulk when his mind broke. Like we're seeing a lot of people kind of reaching their breaking points here, and yeah, hers got to the breaking point where like this whole VMAX thing that's been going around. Like, yeah, I'm sure I was part of the audience that thought, oh, what is this VMAX thing? And the reveal of what it is really what sets her off. Like, if anything, they're all lucky. All those people that were in that bubble, they're lucky to still be alive, if that's the case. Like, they're lucky enough for that. But and this is why it's so important with like superhero media to show that it's like, how do I exactly word this? Because like, when you've done like hero work like Spider-Man has, I can imagine you can kind of look at somebody's situation, or like look at how somebody's like carrying themselves, or like what like the crime that they're doing or whatever, and kind of like see why they're doing. And like, for example, like if he stops like a mafia person or whatever, it's like, okay, you're working for the mafia, so you're kind of a shit person, like you're doing things in a shit way, and you're a stain to society. But it's like, you can look at a character like Jean Grey and especially with Spider-Man's case, when he also lost everything, he hangs out with Punisher, who's also lost everything. He knows about the Hulk, who has, a very sad upbringing. Like every person that like Spider-Man also interacts with, well, just about every, like mainly like the hero people, they're like, they're not only isolated, but they've been through some shit. Like Peter can glean that from them, and like with him talking with them and all that on a regular basis, you can kind of get that. And so I see this more as Peter seeing that she is somebody that's lost a lot. She's needed somebody that can be that guiding light. And I think this in turn, like that, yeah, I'm not trying to excuse her actions or anything, because yeah, they were fucked up. But it's like this can lead her onto the path towards Xavier and towards the school. Like I don't know exactly what their plans are for X-Men, but I'm assuming that's where her end goal will be, or like her path will lead her like to the X-Mansion and all that stuff, for the X-Men stuff and all that. But I mean, also like we see also in some X-Men stuff, I mean, some of them do some kind of fucked up things, as well, I mean, hell, just in this past season alone with 97, I mean, there's the Wolverine episode where he was kind of a selfish prick for that, for, forcing people to go somewhere where they probably shouldn't have. And that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to spoil too much with that, because man, it's actually a really good episode too. it's man, I can't wait for us to talk about X-Men 97. God damn, that show's really good.
Tomorrow, yeah. Now,
God, I need it. But I can at least see where I can see both sides, and I think it's again that gray area that we're having with a lot of the heroes from the MCU, where like some of them did some fucked up things, and some of them did a lot of fucked up things. I am not also because I know some people out there, I know some of y'all are also trying to use this opportunity to make Wanda look like a better person. Here's the thing: at least Jean Grey's sister existed. At least she was a real person, So Wanda doesn't fit into this category. She went crazy on her own accord. The Sokovia Accords, if you will. But I don't know. I'll probably have more to say here in a little bit. But I mean that's my rough spiel with it. I'd
like to add a bit of that to interject, because I know Trevor's about to go in his monologue, like he said, and give us whole spiel and everything. I agree when it comes to Jean Grey as a character, that this felt, for anybody that takes Jean Grey in her comic and knows a bit of her lore, I'm used to seeing her with 3 dudes.
All right.
Scott Summers, aka her man, her backup slutty hole, Wolverine Logan, and either third person be either Magneto or Charles Xavier. Those are the 3 storylines she's always intertwined with. And other than that, she is or becomes the Phoenix Force. So with that being the case, seeing a storyline with Peter Parker and a New Yorker, and as somebody who does not involved with X-Men, felt like a refresh in eyes. As somebody who was so used to and exposed from her and the characters in X-Men, and I love the X-Men. For anybody that understand, I love the X-Men before motherfuckers saw them popular movies early 2000s. I love the X-Men from when it was the Cable's X-Force. I love them back then. The Magneto, the characters and everything. The X-Men are so different and so interesting to break down. And this Jean Grey, she had a problem. She had an issue. Her issue was like, yo, I'm fucking this whole place up. Where the fuck is my sister? If y'all was just honest and say, yo, we accidentally killed your sister by doing tests, she might have destroyed less DOD places if you just cut to the point. Stop trying to hide this information. And even you lying to the damn fucking Spider-Man. The DOD fucking director was lying for like, oh yeah, she got into my mind because I was thinking about my old friend Sarah that passed away. I'm like, really, motherfucker? You lying out of your ass.
He outed himself with that, but
yeah,
whatever.
you lying out of your ass, bro.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh, my
I was gonna
apologies.
joke about.
My apologies
Yeah.
walking about that one. You missed your
No,
one
you're
liner.
fine. You're fine. You're good. You're good. You're good. It's
But-
fine. You know, you'll just disappear for another 2,000 years. It's okay.
But hey, at least within me disappearing, I really enjoyed this part with Jean Grey and her character. Even though by classification, was she a villain? Yes. To people's eyes, yes, she was a villain. Even Punisher was about to kill her in a one snipe, one shot, one kill. But she was a character that I enjoyed seeing, and it made me feel like, could she get redeemed in due time? She did fuck up, but guess what? Most of the X-Men characters do fuck up in very bad ways. Peter Parker doesn't know that he fucked up the X-Men, the future movies where he made the inhibitors. That's Universal. Just because that's gonna bite him back in the ass to help the fucking make the Sentinels. Chat, don't worry, Will. But Trev, talk to us. How do you feel about Jean Grey and DOD? You started off a bit about the DOD earlier, but continue on about the Jean Grey.
Once upon a time, the Department of Defense. Department
What?
Let's call him Dodd. Let's just call him Dodd. I'm gonna mess up the acronym of this, right? So, you know what? Fuck it. Let's call them Gun. The Guardian Units of the Nations from fucking Sonic, because they're just as inept. So once upon a time.
Yeah, make it Sonic 3 so it's even worse for you.
Yeah. So once upon a time, Gunn discovered that, hey, there are two telepaths running around somewhere. They go hunt them down, and they are intent on capturing them and experimenting them because of Director Metzger. I believe that is his name. Metzger, the leader.
Yeah. I think
Pretty
it's
sure.
Metzger. Yeah.
So they go to a little park, and Sarah Gray, Jean's older sister, she's like, I'm going to teach you how to mind hop. But woe is us! The family moment is interrupted by Gunn coming in, and it's like, oh shit, what are they going to do? It's like, well, they trank Sarah, they knock her down, and it's like, oh shit, they're taking the sister. And well, you see Jean Grey decides to run on over, yell towards her sister. Feel like anyone in the immediate area would be like, oh shit, these two know each other. And then she's frozen suddenly. And it's like, huh, why would Sarah do that, not to the other men? Wait a second, is that Jean fucking Grey? And then later it's revealed it was Jean Grey. They knew. What did they do in response? They scrubbed her records. They treated Jean like she doesn't exist for the longest time until she started becoming a threat. It's like, oh, already you fucked up. Cool. Yeah, that's all right. That's okay. Let's move away from Gunn now. Let's move away. They killed her sister. Oh, woe is us. How unfortunate. Jean has one goal throughout this movie. Just one. Just one teeny tiny one. It is to get to Director Metzger and learn what happened to her sister. There are two easy ways to go about this. Actually, there's really only one easy way to go about this. You have a mind hop ability. So long as someone is within 33 feet of you, you mind hop to them, and then, hey, another 33 feet, you mind hop to that person, so on and so forth. The essential best way to do this, if you didn't want to kill people or put anyone in danger or expose yourself, really, you just mind hop from person to person to get to damage control, and you just work your way up, find Metzger. If he's not in that building, you just release the person, you try the next facility, you go from there. So you get him, you find the answers you're looking for, you go from there. That is the best way.
Very logical for somebody that has trained powers and that knows how to use it very wisely. Sounds like a very logical direction, but I don't think this Jean Grey version has logical perspective to actually handle her power in a smart.
She's had plenty of time to mold over this. Plenty of time to go about this.
Remember, here's the thing. You gotta remember too, like I said earlier, you gotta think of their situations. You gotta think of their mental mind state in this. She doesn't give a fuck about all that. And plus, this is also an 18-year-old girl. She's not going to be sitting there thinking about this like that logically. She's not thinking logically. She's thinking emotionally. And that's the biggest crux of this all. She's thinking emotionally about all this. She's not thinking. She's just like, these guys took my sister. Fuck them. Fuck everybody. We're done. I'm getting my sister out of here and we're going somewhere else because fuck all this. Like, there is no logic in it. And that's like, that is the problem, is because of all that, because of no logic, because of all the motion, she gets her into all this mess. She gets to the point of almost no return. Like, again, all those people that were in that bubble are lucky that she just stopped time. Like, and that's the thing. And like, even then she got powerful just from all that, just from that trauma.
Yeah.
So, and so I think it sucks to kind of say this, but like, again, when you put yourself in those shoes, in that mindset of Jean Grey and what she's going through, you got to realize, again, you got to just throw logic out the window at that point, because she's not thinking logically at all. She used a damn janitor to drive a tank. Like, what?
And on top of that, when it comes to also Peter Parker, he felt responsible that once he found out by our cameo Florence Pugh, who was the Black Widow, that Ned was like, oh, that's the Black Widow, and gave information that this whole time Jean Grey in the movie was only trying to find her sister. Once Peter found out, oh shit, I fucked up. She did all this trouble to get to DOD to find her sister, and they was doing business on her. I gotta go fix my mistake. He literally said, oh, I was just working with DOD, but now I'm gonna fuck them up, go into their prison and destroy them just to get Jean Grey out, because I did the biggest mistake as a superhero. I didn't ask questions. I shot first, stopped the issue, stopped the tank, but I didn't ask questions about the bad guy, why they're doing this, because maybe I could have helped them find their sister first. Who knows? But that's what Peter does. He puts his emotion in check because he's also in an emotional state already because of his powers, his human DNA, his spider DNA. So all those type of hindsight, even Ned and MJ ask him, yo, you sure you should go? Like, yo, I fuck up, I gotta go home. Even Punisher, you sure you should go? Let's talk about it. Like, nah, I fuck up, I gotta go. So like, he just kept thinking to fix his problems first. Same thing with Jean Grey. She was just hunting one thing. I never found out issues. I mean, I never found a location of my own sister. So for her, that is her only goal. Where the fuck is my sister? You would die or you would live. Choose one. And I understood her perspective. You know, family means everything. Family is power. Vin Diesel style.
God.
Sorry, I had to when it comes to family.
So, of course you did.
Yes, Trev, tell me, wrap up your thoughts. Because I know that me and Walkers took over, trying to defend. We were trying to defend our takes and stakes because of you.
So anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that this isn't even really logical. It's just basic instinct. Just, oh shit, I want to get this guy. I am just bloodhound bent on this one guy. You guys think that it's all right for her to go after everyone. My thing is, she just wants Metzger. Just go after him. Mind hop from person to person until she gets to him. Do it at work, fine. Or do it at night. You know, sneak up on him. Find him at nighttime in his own private home and torture him from there. Fucking whatever. Instead, her ideal situation is to mind hop to innocent people, put them in extremely dangerous situations, have them kill other people, like a tank rolling through, plowing through cars, firing weapons all across the city, crash into a gun facility, then blow up the tank with the thing, and then allow hundreds, if not many criminals, allowing them to escape, wreaking havoc on that. And then, when she tries to mind warp into Spider-Man, she discovers, oh shit, he's immune. So now suddenly it's like, all right, so you're going to go, all right, so he's immune, so you're going to go after him. Honestly, you should just go after Metzger, because honestly, Spider-Man doesn't really know anything about you. Just that, a person that can mind hop, but no information. Not really a pain in the butt. Man, I would have to antagonize him to be on his radar. That's exactly what she does. She goes to his apartment or his little
Again, I'm stopping you there. Again, like we just said, I think you're thinking way too logically when again the character is not thinking logically. She's thinking straight up on emotions. You're thinking more of practicality and like how you would do things, not the character in the moment. The character in the moment, an 18-year-old girl, mind you, is not thinking logically in all this. She's just doing shit to get to him. She doesn't care who she hurts, who she killed, or like she doesn't give a shit about all that. That's like what we just went on and on about. Like, stop trying to think logically with this, because you got to put yourself in see from the character's point of view. Like that's the whole crux of this whole movie is a very like emotionally powered movie, and you gotta like kind of like see, you gotta have some sort of like, I don't want to say empathy, because like again, you don't want to empathize with people that actually do hurt people, but like you got to kind of look at the mindset that they're in the time. Like you got to look at that aspect instead of like, because again, we could sit here and be like, oh yeah, this should have been this, because this should have been that, because we have that like mentality of like, we see this from the outside, we're not experiencing any of that. When you're experiencing things like that, you like, especially something very emotional, yeah, you're not thinking straight at all. And like that's why in hindsight, again, Captain Hindsight exists when we're just sitting there thinking back on it. And like, oh yeah, maybe we should have done that. Maybe we should have done this and all that. Like she's not planning anything. She's not a super villain planner or anything. She's just doing shit because fuck everybody. I kind of know, where or who has my sister. It's just like, I need to get to that. I'm just going to get to that. Fuck everybody. Like that's literally the mindset of it. Like, and that's why it's so big that like Spider-Man, like shows her all of that. Like if anything, he needed to let her in order to kind of teach her a little lesson too, like using your powers a little more responsibly. Like again, this is a Jean Grey who's not had somebody to really teach her anything. Again, like the most she learned like with her sister, or at least that we're shown of, is like the hopping thing, and then like she got more powerful because of being, having the short experiment on like continuously doing the hop thing and like having her mind keep going in and out like that. But she's never had like anybody to like really help her in that aspect. And that's the character we have. And you gotta like think of a character like that. Like you gotta think of like their situation instead of just like thinking outside of their box. Like you got to think inside their box, inside their shoes. Cause like, yeah, we could sit here, like talk about like, oh, logically we could do this. Logically she could do that. Logically she could have done this. But like, she's not thinking with logic. It's all emotion.
I agree with that 100%. It reminds me of how the ending scene when Aunt May was giving the little pep talk to Jean Grey. The little pep talk in the memory when Jean Grey access to Peter, and Aunt May was giving the lesson, and then we transitioned from Aunt May to Peter, and them giving that a little emotional moment of them accepting one another, and Jean Grey accepting like, hey, I have nobody around me, and Peter saying, I'm your friend. I could be your first friend. And them building a relationship, and like I said, building. We don't know what's next for them in the future. Even though I saw in the timeline that we're gonna have Jean Grey, Tom Holland kiss, I'm like, wait, what? No, but luckily that didn't happen, because I would have not liked Jean Grey and not say Tom Holland, Jean Grey and Peter Parker kiss. I'm like, no, but I'm okay with this. The Aunt May scene with learning about power, learning that's gonna get harder the more you get older, because the more balancing, the more scheduling, the more coordinating, the more balancing of how to be a hero, how to be a regular human with a girlfriend, with kids, and all these things. And Peter's finding out more, but also Jean learned that because of just going through his mind and having somebody like that to kind of pick him up in a way. So I really love that Jean got to see that with her own eyes in the way. So that was really beautiful to see. Trev, have anything to rebuttal?
Yeah. First, I'm not trying to put myself in the character. I'm not trying to be me during this. I'm going off of what I know about Jean Grey, about how she is a bloodhound looking for revenge. She wants this one guy in particular. What you're saying, I agree with. However, she's too off the rails. She's going way
That's the point.
too.
That's the point. That's the point of it. That's the point of it.
Let me talk. Just please.
All right, fine. All right, keep going. Keep going.
I'm just trying to go at this. So it's fine that you want to keep saying that, she does not care about who she hurts along the way. My thing is, it's too out there for me to believe. It's way too out there. She is going out of her way to endanger innocent people that have done absolutely nothing to her, people that have absolutely no reason to be part of her revenge quest. When she goes after Spider-Man, you can understand that to an extent, but she keeps going after these innocent people, throwing them off of buildings, throwing them in front of cars. Sure, you can say that, oh, she's just angry at the world. It's one thing to be angry at the world, it's another thing to be fucking killing everyone in it.
That's part of being angry at the world. That's part of being like saying fuck the world, like her acting like that. That's the point I'm trying to get across. I
understand that, like, but that's where my suspension of disbelief ends. That's all I'm saying.
Well, then that's a you problem. That's not a movie problem. That's a you thing.
I think it's just way too out there.
For you.
That is
for you.
For me, sure. You want to keep going that way? Sure, go with that.
I mean, it is that, but yeah.
It's just there's so, like, for her, I feel like she would not be killing innocent people. I feel like that would not be her.
In this instance of the MCU, I see her doing that. She had the right to justify enough of justification of not knowing what happened, the DOD kidnapping her sister, and then her being out of a loop because her sister being in her mind. Now that she's here, she's like, what's going on? So she has no answer. She's like, all right, cool. I'm going to go on a time hunt to find my sister. Was it the most productive, safely mannered way to do it? Fuck no. Anybody can tell you that this was not the most safely mannered way to find your sister by knocking on the government door. No. Instead, she chose the most heavy-handed of literally waking up a monster, getting head of a guy that has some type of psychotic problems in his head, Punisher, and trying to help a guy, Peter, by also giving him a PTSD of his girlfriend and jumping her off the building, not knowing that she almost went through that 4 years ago, and other Peters have gone through that with Gwen Stacy. So that's a bit tough situation when it comes to Jean. Did she fuck up? Fuck yeah. But like Walken said earlier, many mutants do a lot of fuck up shit without getting repercussions until later down the line. That's what is the storyline about mutants. That literally are their stigma when it comes to the characters. That is their portrayal of the characters when it comes to mutants. But let's talk about these mutants. Let's talk about, now we have come to the end of our show when it comes to what's the future of the MCU. What's the future of Peter Parker? What's the future of Jean Grey? Let's talk about the post-credit scene as well, because the post-credit, a big shout out to Ned. They saw the Peter tracker, but we also we didn't mention her because the reason I save her is because we also have her as the ending. It was all part of the story, Walkers. Don't worry, she was part of the reasoning, and it's because Florence Pugh, aka Black Widow, I want to save her for the ending because she said something to Peter Parker at her office, said that, Peter, you handle small potatoes. We, the Avengers, handle big potatoes. And big potatoes are when they became from Thunderbolts to the new Avengers, handling the Void. That's one of the first tasks. And then whatever they've been doing over the past couple of years, they've been handling that task. Awesome. But then what's the new task that they should be handling is Doomsday, because that's the next movie that we know is coming out in the next 6 months. So within Doomsday, we have the next big potato. But the post-credit scene, it shows Peter. Maybe a glitch. Many fans said that a glitch happened. Maybe it's a different multiverse. Or it's just a post-credit of showing Peter being transported to, many people are theorizing, to a different planet. Maybe to outer space, to a Fantastic Four spaceship. Or to Battle War. So I'm gonna ask you, Trev, what do you think about this post-credit scene? Do you have any predictions overall for the characters of the Hulk, the Punisher, the Jean Grey? These characters that are, Jean Grey was leaving to a big giant forest that maybe looks like New Jersey, maybe going somewhere to an X-Mansion, maybe got pop up to a professor in a wheelchair. Who knows? Only time will tell when we find out more in the future. But do you have any predictions? Do you have any thoughts of this post-credit scene where our characters will go the ending and Florence Pugh involving with the big potatoes?
They're all just gonna die, and that is the path, right? Doomsday's gonna happen. We all know the reboot's coming, so I feel like nothing really. I hate to be nihilist here. I feel like nothing, unless how do I put this? It's like not a return to. It's not like a complete do-over. When Secret Wars ends, where it's like everything is exactly the way it was, but Kevin Feige said it, everyone is on the same boat. It's like it's a reboot, so who knows if these stories are even gonna be picking up from where we left off? No one knows either. It could go either way. Therefore, I got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same thing. This is my MJ for. Like what MJ was to Trevor is what this end scene was to me. This was kind of a nothing burger. Like I saw it, I'm just like, oh, cool, radar. All right. I'm not gonna lie, my mind, I didn't think about any of that shit. I was just like, is that a Spider-Verse reference? Because I was like, because they have opened up, different multiverse shit. I'm just like, huh. I wonder if that's just a Spider-Verse reference. But everybody else is being like, oh, Battle War, oh, Secret Wars. I'm like, oh yeah, those are a thing. Yeah. Look, I want Spider-Verse.
My theory is this. What Trev said. We don't know, because after this film is Doomsday. And if anybody don't know, after Doomsday, there's no TV show. There's nothing out of this project. It's literally Doomsday and then Secret Wars a year later. We literally have nothing else in the middle. The one thing I was mad about, this is my annoyingness. This film ended. And literally the first thing I said, I would like a mini TV series to know what the fuck happens next between Peter and Ned and Peter and MJ. But we're going to fucking wait in the next 5-10 years for the next film. Who the fuck knows when? And two, if we don't get a mini TV series or 3 episodes, 2 episodes, can I get like a mini comic book of what happens after this? Because this would be so grateful to know what happens, because I feel like I got left-handed with blue balls, not in the best way possible either.
Wait, what? When is blue balls ever? Never mind. We're not going to get into that. We're not getting into that.
True. Look. I'm just saying, we have a radar that I would have texted Walkers as well. You don't gotta wait for the post-credit scene because it's just a damn fucking radar. It was cool, but it was just so left off because at the end of the day, it says Spider-Man will come to Doomsday. So does that mean which Spider-Man? We don't know, because there's been rumors, reports that could be Toby, could be Andrew in the Doomsday. It could be a Spider-Man. It doesn't say Tom Holland Spider-Man will return. It just says Spider-Man will return. So it could be very vague of which mantle will be carrying held. So it's pretty interesting where this will go. Anybody have any comments about Black Widow, Florence Pugh, small potatoes, big potatoes, of their future involvement with Doomsday and their involvement and cameo in Spider-Man?
Wants Hawkins, you got anything? I have a thing, but I don't know if you do.
I mean, she was fine in her role. I mean, I kind of saw her more like, especially with like the small potato, big potato thing. I saw it more of like her just like, with lack of a better title for it, I guess, kind of like a supervisor in a way, where it's just like, she handles more like when you look at it for like a business aspect, she's more of like the big picture type of deal. So like, okay, a country level threat, for example, or like a continent level threat, or a world. Well, I guess in terms of Avengers, it would be more like world level threat, where it's just like, Spider-Man, you take care of New York, you take care of that, if you need help, I'm here for it. But I have other things I need to take care of. So you focus on this because that's always something like, especially with a big vast universe like this, it is something it is in the back of your head, like, Captain America going through this thing in with Winter Soldier and all that, during the Winter Soldier movie, be cool if somebody would help him with that. That'd be neat. That'd be awesome. Why can't Iron Man, or Iron Man movies, for example, like when he what was it, 2 with Whiplash or whatever, like, and then all the suits started coming after. It's just like, well, okay, why? Tony could help somebody. I mean, granted, he had War Machine, but that's a whole other thing. It's just like with a world like this, I could see systems in place, and especially with like, well, no, the Sokovia Accords aren't around anymore, are they? I don't remember off the top of my head.
No, they got nuked in She-Hulk.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, but you could still, you could kind of just the way that like Black Widow was in this and how she was acting, you could tell like there are some systems in place to kind of like do this kind of thing. It was just like, okay, Spider-Man, you're good here. I'm based here. Like, let's say like she's based for North America. Let's just say like, okay, I'm based here in New York because like it's a big central hub for like superpowered people. But you guys take care of this. I'm gonna keep an eye out for anything else that's coming by. Like just more of like just kind of that thing. But it was good for him to at least have like an Avengers connection as well. Just kind of tie that in. There was something else, but I'm drawing a blank with it. But I mean, it was fine. Damn you, Peter, for being able to go to her office. But that's besides the point.
How about you, Trev? How do you feel about Florence Pugh? Because you said that you have some thoughts.
Yeah, I don't really like how she didn't have any investment in Jean Grey or the Department of fucking Dodd. Again, I don't like how she didn't, because we know how easy it was for her to get into their files.
Easy
and
as hell.
And so when she learns that there is another organization that were going after a pair of sisters for their abilities, and then they specialized in mind control, and that specific government organization was after mind control, that should speak levels to Yelena. That like, she should be all been that. That was her whole purpose in Black Widow. But in this one, she's like, you smell potatoes. That is your thing. It's like, no, this is your thing. This is wholly your thing. You should definitely be more involved instead of just being on one other Zoom call.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense. You know why? Because there's been many instances in the comics or in the animated where literally a Spider-Man has asked for help and the heroes are like, nah, it ain't that big of a deal. And then they come too late when Peter fought the Sinister Six or fought the big bad, defeated them, and then Peter's all tired, and Peter's tired of like, fuck. And then Captain Marvel or a few other heroes have come and arrived mad late. They be like, sorry, Peter, we saw the problem. We came fast as we could. And Peter's like, I'm out. You clean up the mess. I'm out. Clean up the mess. And he has done that. Anybody could know that literally has been issues where literally Peter asks a few heroes for help. They say, nah, you got that. It's cool. And then they come too late because like, yo, our fault. We feel like you needed help. Like, yeah, my G. You should have fucking come and asked for the help, you bitch.
I needed it like 20 minutes ago when he was punching me in the ass.
Yeah, so I get where you're coming from, Trev. I just, for me, I'm used to that from seeing other iterations of this type of Avengers character and just be literally ignoring Peter when Peter just be saying like, hey, shit's about to go down. I need assistance, or can you get information? They'd be like, oh, yeah, Peter, you got this. Don't worry. I'm like, I need help at that. You're like, nah, you're good. It's like a run in the mill, but hey, glad we got this conversation about, because we have come to the end of our show to talk about any last thoughts, any last arguments, any last sorries, or hey, we're all forgiven. At the end of the day, we have our opinions, and we will hold each other kumbaya, and let's talk about it. So, Trev, what's your rating? What's your score? And how do you feel your final thoughts overall with our conversation, discussion? Talk to me.
Thanks to you two, it is now a 3 out of 10 for me.
Yay! All right, you know what?
Oh,
I'm
God.
chalking that up as a win.
I would have liked to hear 5 out of 10, but hey, 1 point higher, I feel like it's not bad. I feel like the more me and Walkers gave good points, it's just that in my head, I'm just hearing a 5 out of 10. So Trev is putting his human scale of his perspective and eyes that's making it 3. So in my head, I'm like, you know what? Technically, it's a 5 because if you just take the Trev points off or technically add them, it becomes a 5 out of 10.
Actually, it was the one thing that made it go up to a little 3 was the point about the Punisher, and that was it.
Yes.
W somewhere. W somewhere.
Vash, no. You have no idea. No, you have no idea. It hasn't been since the toolbox. It hasn't been. I am taking that point, and I am chalking this up as a win.
Happy. Trev, got any more last thoughts then?
Because I do want to point out, even though this was a little debate, there are no hard feelings here. Even if got a little,
no.
Even
Of
though
course,
the ship rocked a little near the end.
Yeah, Trev is still wrong at the end of the day. It's
No.
okay.
And you
Exactly.
know what? So was Vash. Vash was also wrong at the end of the day. We're all wrong at the end of the day. We're all fucking crazy.
Except
here
for
on
me,
this ship.
I'm always right.
Yeah,
I'm always
Hawkins
right
is definitely the
people-
crazy captain of this ship.
Because here's the thing, y'all need to make sure y'all read and or listen to Dungeon Crawler Carl. So I'm right about that. Just as I'm taking the Punisher point.
Hey, I'm gonna take my self point of Jean Grey point as well, even though Trev didn't agree. Cause at the end of the day, it's all about perspective. These characters can be logical, so at the end of the day, I give myself the point, even though it should be a 5 out of 10, but I know it is. It's just Trev is giving them -2. So like I said,
I'll take my righted point then.
I'm gonna give myself the point in my head. But Trev, give me the last touch you go. If not, Walkers could continue on with his laugh.
God.
Well, I was gonna say see you all in Doomsday. But you know what? And on a good note, how about listen to some Weird Al? You know,
Oh yeah.
If Weird Al doesn't put a smile on your face, I don't know what does. You know.
Right.
And I'll have an experience about Weird Al to share next week. Woo-hoo!
Yes, we have a lot to catch up next week on Taco Parlor. We appreciate for everyone checking out this 3 hour and less podcast of Weebs Lounge that we haven't had in a while. But also on top of that, you might get for those that see the I'm literally post the Jean Grey clip because the Jean Grey conversation was literally an hour and 2 minutes.
Oh my God.
So anybody will probably see that on a whole different video. Was Jean Grey right? Is what I'm gonna have as a title. I'm gonna see if many people check out or not. The only time we'll tell. Let's see and find out. But Walkers, what's your rating? Got any last thoughts other than promoting the usual of your hyperfixation?
God, see, I struggle with like the score for this because it's like part of me wants. I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna give it a 4.5 out of 5. It did a lot of good for me. It told like a lot of good messages. It showed a lot of good messages too. You know, as we got in, you know, a lot of my spiels and a lot of our arguments and talks and all that tonight. It was all good. I don't know. Just I feel like even with like, you know, the nitpicks that are here and like or like, you know, issues here and there, you know, with like, you know, the stuff we talked about with Peter in the beginning or like some of the stuff with like the Hulk and all that. I still feel like at the end of the day, a lot of the emotional storytelling and a lot of just like I hate using this word because the MHA fandom kind of ruined this word as well. But the themes that was going on in the movie, I feel like a lot of those outweighed any like continuity issues. I mean, again, like they are there. You know, Trevor did point out some of them and all that, and you know, hopefully, when we look into that Daredevil thing, that helps with some of that. But I mean, I don't know. This was still a really good movie. I thought it was well directed, well acted. We didn't even talk about the effects of it. I mean, I know like, I at least with my experience, the effects were really good. So, I know that can change with like different movie theaters and all that stuff, different, screenings and all that. But the movie looked really good, acted really good. Soundtrack was phenomenal as always. Just this was just a really good experience. One of my favorite movies this year. I don't know if it beats Obsession or not. I'd have to sit and think about that though, because Obsession was really good. But yeah, Spider-Man's getting the mantle. It's a 4.5 out of 5 for me.
I love that. For me, I give it 8.5 out of 10. A 4.5 out of 5 is very solid film, very beautiful. Has done as a comic book fan, a comic book heart, kid heart, weeb heart, nerd heart, geek heart, all the types of hearts when it comes to loving a hyperstation as Spider-Man. I have Spider-Man cups, not just one, not just two, not just three, not just four. I have many attires. I bought also a popcorn bucket. I have the Spider-Man head as well from the AMC. I'm a big fan. Just seeing many kids, many people dress up, cosplay and everything as Spider-Man and everything. Just seeing how great this movie was. The character that we got introduced when it came to Jean Grey, Hulk, Punisher. Would have been nice to see Daredevil and a few of the characters involved more. But hey, this was a good
maybe in
film.
Spider-Man 5.
Maybe in Spider-Man 5. We might see more of that. In the year 2029, that's just my guess that the next Spider-Man film would be. Honestly, in the next 3 years. Only time will tell. I am happy about this film. It was a great discussion, a great debate. And the only reason I'm not too sad or that we missed talking about the effects, Walkers, because remember, in 2 weeks, we will be ranking these films. So we will be comparing them about effects compared to the 2000s, aka Tobey Maguire film, or the Andrew Garfield films that's very always highlighted of the web slinging, of the electro, the CG of Andrew Garfield swinging around the city and everything. So we will compare to also Spider-Man 4 when it comes to also him doing a lot of the Insomniac movesets that when it came to doing the adaptation of the game. So we will compare that. That's why I didn't highlight too much of that, because it was going to be for that conversation, because this was more about character, story, the theme, the debate, the conversation aspect. But
the cinema.
Yes, the cinema. That's what, Martin Scorsese meme, the gif is this movie was absolute cinema. Just saying.
Ooh, breaking news, actually, that's related to this movie. The guy that stalked Peter, the actor that we were praising earlier.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
His name is, I'm gonna butcher this. Niwi Akin. Okay. It's like Niyi. That's his name. He is thanking everyone for supporting his performance. He says, "Thank you so much. I remember saying to my family, I hope I get to be in Spider-Man one day. This is a dream come true. Your friendly neighborhood super fan." And wouldn't you know it, there's a little picture of him with a little Spider-Man action figure with Kingpin from the animated series behind him. I know exactly what episode that is too.
I believe I mentioned that exact conversation 2 hours ago. So yeah, so I love it that you brought it back full circle for us to end of our show. So yes, go check out Believe in Your Dreams and don't do it alone. Just like Peter said to Aunt May at the grave, you finally learned your lesson to not do it alone, and go back to your girl that forgot about you and everything, and do the best handshake that you got. Other than that,
pew, pew.
Thank you for watching. This is the Weebs Lounge podcast. Thank you for joining us tonight and taking the time to listen in. This is the Weebs Lounge podcast presented by AniMa W3 Studio, production team Vash, Walkers, and the Cloudy Chance of Meatballs. Special thanks to Spider-Man, the friendly neighborhood hero, and Punisher, who's also the hero as well. And don't forget to follow social media of the brand and team. All the links are down below in the description. Lastly, share, like, and most importantly, give feedback and let us know what you thought of this episode. Give your feedback of the Spider-Man. Give the rating. Let us know what you guys thought in the audio feed in the YouTube. Tweet at us or join the Discord as well. Let us know. And on behalf of everyone at AniMa W3 Studio, thank you for joining us on the Weebs Lounge podcast. Thank you for checking out this lesson of a 3-hour podcast of reviewing Spider-Man. Brand new day. One of the best films of Spider-Man. Top 2, if anything. You'll find out in 2 weeks how we rank them and how Trev will have it in the lower 2 or mid or maybe his opinion has changed. Who knows? Maybe it goes from a 3 to a 7. You gotta hope for it.
Oh, that's adorable.
Bye.